On the next run. I'm ready. I'm excited. I mean, I hope I'm ready.
I would say that you're ready. It's just a matter of whether or not they're ready.
Are you ready?
Thank you so much, Joker. Hey, everybody. I'm Saria.
I'm Saria. I'm in my old bed at my family home. It is around midnight 30 on Friday. 3 days and 3 hours before I will be performing my first ever speedrun at a Games Done Quick charity marathon speedrunning event. I should be asleep by now, and I attempted that, but I'm finding that rather difficult with the circumstances, and I'm pretty excited. And this year I thought I might try making a little video that walks any prospective viewers through the process of being a speedrunner, a performer at a Games Done Quick event, or any live speedrunning charity marathon. And as I struggled to get my heart rate down a few minutes ago, trying to will my body towards some modicum of tiredness for sleep, I realized that this is where I should start.
This is a resource, and perhaps a bit of a vanity project. A video which swiftly turned into a documentary. But why? What does any of this mean? Speedrunning is the act of playing video games quickly. While it can be a relatively simple and unceremonious hobby activity, in the 2010s it transformed into a cultural phenomenon, with legendary and unlikely games making headlines as speedrunners discovered ever more absurd ways to turn them inside out. Just about any game can be speedrun, and this means that just about any game can be approached in a new way, incentivizing favorite games to be played over and over again, in the pursuit of achieving personal best completion times, or even world records. I was aware of speedrunning early in my youth, but first became interested in participating myself in 2014 after I discovered recordings of the fast-trending speedrunning charity marathon, Awesome Games Done Quick, specifically the 2013 iteration. Awesome Games Done Quick is the flagship winter event of an event coordinating organization, Games Done Quick, or GDQ for short. What began in 2010 as a passion project of Speed Demo's archive experienced raucous growth in the next few years. Founder Mike Uyama took the inaugural event into his mother's basement, and 4 years later, as tens of thousands of online viewers looked on, Agdq 2014 became the first GDQ event to raise $1 million for the Prevent Cancer Foundation, with hundreds of people from all over the world joining to celebrate the video games which had brought them together and given them so much passion. I couldn't resist that energy.
If you care about this, then this is what you're probably going to be going through as well. The anxiety and anticipation well before the actual event is a pretty awesome problem to have, but a problem it still is, because in order to be doing your best in front of 100,000 people on stream, it's gonna be a good idea to be well rested. And if you're like me and you're performing your speedrun in the dead middle of the wee hours of the night, and you've already adjusted your sleep schedule accordingly as best you can, that's already been an issue to work on, and I have been as diligent as possible with it without completely upending my life. But as it turns out, I care about this just as much as I thought I would. And it might seem like a silly thing to care this much about, to be this nervous and anxious and excited about, to play a video game for literal 15 minutes of fame while some people watch and then probably never think about you again. And the event's not about me, it's not about any of the individual runners. It's about all of us coming together, it's about the cause. It's about the Prevent Cancer Foundation, it's about what all of it means to everybody. And just the simple idea of people coming together to try to do something good. And that's part of why I care so much. And this is when it's really starting to sink in. This is by no means my first time having attempted to be accepted for a Games Done Quick marathon. I have submitted games for years now. And this was the first time I received that acceptance email. And that was a wild moment. But this is where it's really sinking in, and it's going to be different for everybody that this happens to. We're all different, and we're all going to be bringing different experiences to the event. We're all going to be having different experiences, and none of us know exactly what to expect. And I'm very lucky in that regard because I'm playing a game that is basically as forgiving as possible. I'm playing Ruff City, a really simple beat 'em up. And basically nothing can possibly go wrong. And even the things that can won't really matter that much. And so I'm one of the incredibly lucky ones who doesn't really have to worry about that, knowing that it's gonna go great. And so I'm just trying to enjoy the time before that happens. I'm trying to extend and appreciate every single second leading up to that, because I care about this, and this is special to me. This is a dream come true. And I would love to be well rested for it, although my chances for that are looking slimmer by the moment, and I always knew that they were very bleak. But that's where this video starts. If this turns into anything, if anybody watches it, this is a part of it, right here. Trying to get some sleep. 3 days before my run, 2 days before the marathon even begins. Living every single moment of it already. Just caring. And if this is what you're going through, congratulations. We're gonna get through this, and we're gonna have a great time. But try to get some sleep, okay?
Less than 3 hours before I head out in the car to the event, and I managed to get some decent sleep the last few nights, and I'm pretty happy about that. Clearing off phone space to make sure I can take pictures and videos at the event, including, I guess, this stuff, as well as looking through and clipping and making highlights of my stream from last night, which involved me accidentally getting a world record in Ruff City by more than 20 seconds, which makes it far less likely for me to get a world record on stage on Monday, so rats. Darn, that came out of absolutely nowhere. I was just doing my final no reset run on stream before the event, and the game just went really, really fast. It just gave me almost entirely great luck, except for the very last luck interaction in the game. But I am not complaining. I'm pretty freaking happy about that. That's another thing about this entire experience that hasn't sunk in yet. But that's a lot of words, and this is about, you know, the experience of running at Agdq. So what else should I tell you about preparing for the event? Well, one of the things that I've been doing for at least a month now has been doing constant practice runs leading up to the event. Even though Ruff City is an incredibly forgiving game, and it's the type of game where it's like riding a bike. You just remember how to do it even if you take some time off. I think that the event organizers peek into your streams every once in a while, at least in older documentation, they say that they do that sometimes, just to make sure people are taking this seriously. And I think it's a good idea, just no matter what, no matter if anybody's watching. I think that if you want it to go well, it's to your benefit to be practicing very often, especially the closer you get to the event. And something I've also been doing is practicing the things I'm going to be saying before and after the run, but I'm not scripting it. I do want it to be mostly natural, and I really try to prioritize genuineness at all times. It's very important to me, so I don't want to just be reading from a script, but I do want to represent myself well. And if that's also important to you, then that's something that you could also experiment with. I don't mean you necessarily have to practice in front of a mirror, because that's not what I've done, but just whatever feels natural to you, whatever you feel would make you more comfortable going into the event, that you don't have to worry as much about unknowns whenever you're going onto the stage, because there's already so much unknown about that experience, even from the tech end. Marathons are held on by a thread most of the time. Every second that passes in an event like this where things are not breaking is a miracle, and I'm not saying that to disparage Games Done Quick or anybody who puts these events on. That's just the way these things are. There are so many tech issues that are going on even when we don't see them. So many things that people are just like trying to rescue throughout these events. And to have things as buttoned up as possible on your end is a good idea going into these things. So I'm probably going to do one more practice run off stream before I head out to the event and practice all of my pre and after run commentary and my during the run commentary one more time, and then at the event itself, I'll probably, almost certainly, be doing another practice run in the serious practice room with my commentators there, so they can get a better idea of everything that's going to be going on. And it's just about time. Man, this is surreal. We can use our standard 3-punch combo to take them out. Our third attack, the uppercut, is a bit more powerful and can deal 2 strikes, but also you saw me just...
After another smooth practice run of Ruff City, the time of my departure was on me before I knew it, and I set out on the road to Pittsburgh. For me, the drive to Pittsburgh is about 90 minutes, which is incredibly fortunate for me. And selfishly, that's the reason I hope this event is held at this same venue for the rest of my natural life.
I've arrived at the parking garage, fairly close to the hotel and venue altogether, thankfully, because this is another Agdq in Pittsburgh where it's going to be even colder than usual around these parts. So that leads me to my next point. Come prepared for all sorts of environments, even indoors. Even if this is a summer event you're going to, and it's forecast to be very temperate the entire time, you never know what sorts of environments you're going to be experiencing in the venue and around town in different places. So come prepared. Bring all sorts of stuff. I have brought very warm clothes because we're going to be in the elements this time, so I have gloves, I have hats, I have many layers of clothing to wear because I'm going to need it. It's going to be pretty bitter throughout the week, so hopefully I can get all my stuff together for one trip to the hotel, and hopefully the walk won't be too bad. Let's do this. I can't wait to meet my boys. Let's do it.
The walk to the hotel was indeed relatively quick and painless. The parking garage is fairly expensive, but it's something I'm willing to accept to be able to have this experience.
I see him.
My roommates had also been accepted, and our runs were almost all back-to-back on the schedule.
Those poor saps have probably been waiting for me because I'm late.
Hi, Say!
Hello. And this is the group that I happen to adore, and that's a great way to enjoy a marathon.
So I successfully performed getting the hotel card key skip. My friends did that for me, and they just gave it to me, so I'm already ahead when we start the marathon.
Goal split! Woo!
We're in the hotel room, so that's if you got a hotel room, you will be getting a hotel room, and this is a good video.
It is. Well, hey, it's really important. If you're going to go to a GDQ, I recommend strongly getting a hotel room on site, because you can't really beat waking up, rolling out of bed, and just going downstairs, and everything is just going on as soon as you walk out of the elevator. It's such a cool experience.
Yeah, I'm spoiled by having that be my one experience so far last year. This is my second in-person AGDQ, and I'm already enjoying it. One of our roommates went out to do wife things because he has a wife, so we'll be seeing him again some point. But the next things I need to do are get registered, or not registered. I am registered. Make sure you're registered before the event. That would be a problem if you're...
Please tell me you're registered.
Yeah, like if you're in the marathon and you're not registered for the event, you might run into some issues when you get there. So I'm going to be checking in, and then right around when I'm checking in, I'll show you a little bit of that process if I can. I'm going to also be getting my run installed on all of the machines that they tell me to install for preparing for my run, because I'm using a Steam game for my run, and that it needs to be there so I can play it, and I brought it on a USB, and that's going to be my first time doing something from a Steam backup, and I'm ready to go.
Nice to meet you. We will be hanging out. Hi. You wanna go first? Sure.
So we just found out what the runner badges look like, runner and volunteer badges look like. My boys are doing a co-op run of Snake, Rattle, and Roll.
And that's it.
And that's exactly what is on the badges.
How cool is that?
That's really cool. So I'm all checked in, got my runner's badge, and Covert Muffin took me on a tour, and he's a legend, by the way. So that was cool. In about 15 minutes, I'm slated to do my PC install. So I'm just going to hang around here for a little bit, then I'm going to go into the stream room and flag down a staff member and get that taken care of. So my experiences with the staff here have always been incredibly positive, and they're under a lot of pressure. So whenever you're interacting with them, I'd say just always be friendly, and whenever you're working through issues, respect their time, because they're putting on a freaking massive marathon. Everybody's going to be stressed at all times and trying to make things work, and they're running between a zillion different places, even today on the day before the marathon actually starts. So just respect the staff, make sure that you're helping them out whenever you can, and they're here to help you. So don't be afraid, but also be respectful, be friendly, and we're all going to work together to make this work.
My PC install seemed to go smoothly at first, until I tried to press buttons in order to start the game, and I realized it was not working. I may be green with Steam, but after toying with some settings and checking a few boxes that allow different controller types, I got everything working as intended, and it seemed I was ready for Monday.
I got Ruff City installed on 2 PCs, and I should be all set for that. Had to do a little bit of extra stuff to get my controller working on those PCs, so if it doesn't work on the actual day, I think I'll know exactly what to do to fix that. So everything's good so far. Heading into the evening of pre-day one. I still don't know what to think or feel, but I'm looking forward to everything.
At 7 p.m., I attended a GDQ runner orientation, which gave a rundown of many important and valuable things to keep in mind for all sorts of aspects of running a game at a GDQ event.
Here at dinner on the night before day one, and just had a great point brought up to me about the staff by this lovely person. Another member of Roommate Block who talked about how the staff here, I mentioned that respect their time, but also don't be afraid to ask them questions. That's what he just told me, because they are incredibly receptive to the questions. They're here to help you, and they want to be able to have those issues brought up before anything comes up in a way that is less convenient. So don't be afraid to ask questions. They're going to help you. And thank you, Chester. Also, I'm excited for this vegan burger. Let's go. So we're approaching bedtime on the night before the event. We have done our little runner orientation, which I think is very useful. It was a nice short procedure for procedure. That makes it sound like somebody cut us with a scalpel. Do you cut with scalpels? Anyway, we're here in our room again, and we're informed. We have been what was it called? We have been orientated. We've been orientated. Thank you, gentlemen. They always have my back. That's why they're going to be on stage with me on Monday. And yeah, I'd say if they offer that whenever you're at an event like this, it's just great to have all those refreshers. And I'm probably going to be reading through the event rules just to make sure that everything that I'm planning to do during my run isn't going to be against any of their things that they're telling us how to behave and everything, which I'm thinking I'm probably good, but you never know, so I'm still going to brush up anyway and try to get some sleep tonight and maybe get 8 hours tonight, and then if I get 4 hours the next night, I was telling CJ that would be a miracle and I'd be very happy. So let's get started on the 8 hours soon. Let's do it.
So, how did I get myself into this mess in the first place? The first speedrun I ever attempted in 2014 was River City Ransom, a formative NES classic and likely the first video game I ever played as a toddler. Of course, that particular game proved to be absolutely infuriating to speedrun due to its unforgiving luck elements, and I turned to its Game Boy Advance remake, River City Ransom EX, in January 2015, where I submitted the game's first serious recorded speedrun videos to the most centralized archiving site, speedrun.com. This was my humble entry into the intoxicating world of pursuing faster and faster game completions, setting goals, learning new tricks, improving execution, recording the fruits of your labor, and challenging the rest of the world to do even better. In 2020, I discovered that one of my idols from the Super Smash Bros. Melee community, Red, had beaten my River City Ransom EX world record. This was the spark which fully ignited my love of speedrunning, and 5 years after I had left the game dormant, I returned to compete and eventually obsessively improve and polish the game. The next year, another runner named Will Bobsled transformed the original River City Ransom, and I finally achieved control over my beloved early childhood game. From there, I was hooked. I fell to the insatiable lust for the practical infinity of games to speedrun. For me, it all turned out to hit a little close to home.
Good morning. It's about 8:30 a.m. This is not the big day, but it is still a big day. Got lots to do. I think I need to hydrate more. I've got a little bit of a headache, and that's another suggestion, which is a very common one and a very prevalent and important one for everybody. Stay hydrated. So I'm gonna make sure I pick up one of the provided water bottle containers that the Prevent Cancer Foundation brings. Very useful, and make sure I keep that filled up and keep myself watered, because the event just feels way more pleasant whenever you're not dehydrated.
Are these available for pickup? Yes, thank you. Yes.
So we're starting off the day in the casual practice room. Yels is getting some snake rattle and roll practice in. You can go to a desk in the practice room and ask for certain consoles to borrow so that you can play certain games, and you can just set them up at any of these terminals that are situated in the room with TVs and different types of TVs with different input ports and everything. And it's just a magical place. It's probably my favorite place overall in the entire place. Not even just the streaming room where all of the magic is happening, but this is a really magical place too, where you can meet all sorts of people doing all sorts of things and playing games and setting up tournaments, and it's incredible. And I'm going to be spending a lot of time here throughout the week.
After spending some time in the practice room, we headed over to the stream room to witness the beginning of the main event.
All right, well, welcome to Awesome Games Done Quick 2025. So, on the count of 5, we're going to start the game. The run's going to start, and we're going to do it. So, all right, let's go. Everyone ready? All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
pre-show was entertaining, and now I'm waiting in line to get my runner t-shirt, which is a really cool perk of being a runner. You get a t-shirt for free, as well as getting your registration paid for.
That's actually a decent point. I'm here at lunch and I'm considering my food options. I was gonna go for salmon, but I don't even want a 0.1% chance of foodborne illness tonight before my run, so that's just something that I thought I'd share. I'm gonna get an Impossible Burger instead. I don't think that has a chance, does it? I'll ask for it well done if I have to. Coming up into the afternoon here, and I'm going to watch and support Bluekandy, who is a streamer that I have enjoyed to watch for years, and it's been cool to watch him blow up recently, and he's playing the game that I first found him playing, Kirby Air Ride City Trial, which is one of my favorite things in any video game. So I'm excited for that, and that's one of the nice parts about being a runner in this event is that you're just at the event and you can just do whatever you want as long as you're, not supposed to be somewhere and doing something. You can just enjoy the event and everything that it entails. And after that run, I'm probably going to work out because playing Ruff City requires a very high physical fitness level. I just do it because it's important to me. And then we'll be getting close to time to meet up and get prepared for our runs. So how do I, can I segue?
So I ventured to the stream room again to watch an incredible speedrun of Kirby Air Ride's City Trial Mode by Bluekandy. This was an especially scary speedrun to perform in a marathon setting where there's no room for error. However, all while being his own commentator and player while using 4 controllers at the same time, Bluekandy absolutely nailed it.
Gotta get all the other purples, and last but not least, Destruction Derby 150 and time.
Why does this matter to me? Why am I doing this? Like most of my hobbies and activities, speedrunning is more than just a game to me. An owner of mental illnesses and conditions contributing to a hellaciously obsessive and addictive personality, I have always taken things inordinately seriously and heaped absurd amounts of pressure on myself in all things. This first led to burnout in my first passion in life, golf, after early success as a junior golfer petered out. Then the same happened regarding my standout high school and college venture, trombone performance. However, there was one activity where I enjoyed relative longevity and a stint among the world's elite, an acrobatic sport known as tricking. In 2010, my lifelong autistic fixation on acrobatics and martial arts thrust me headfirst, sometimes literally, into an incredibly physically intense activity, where I lashed my body through more and more and more demanding goals and workouts. For years, the results were consistent and stunning, and I progressed quickly and resoundingly. By 2016, I had grown into a balanced and world-class tricker, and the intensity of training and achieving new goals was a simple fact of my life, and it all just happened. No matter how hard it was, I simply met each challenge. I didn't know how to not want it. Then, it all started catching up to me. For many of my tricking years, I fought through chronic injuries to surprising success, but in 2019, a left hamstring injury struck at what proved to be a horrific time. This turned into another chronic injury, and while I struggled to treat it, I developed mental blocks with many of my tricks, as well as rust and atrophy. All of this combined with the wear and tear of an aging body that was no longer constantly lubricated by fast twitch flexible motion. By 2021, I was an empty shell of my former self as a tricker. And while I am incredibly grateful for everything I had and still have, because I have been so fortunate to have access to these abilities at all, the fact remains. Mentally, the diminishing process was harrowing, as I slowly felt the strength and intensity that had become so core to my life erode and wither. I lost my tricking form, and I lost my desire. And I was lost. And I still am. Not for lack of trying, this is something I may never figure out. I work out almost every single day, feeding my endorphin addiction and grabbing my intensity fix, but it still pales in comparison. I was left searching for something to fill that lofty void, an activity to flavor my life with that goal-oriented, adrenaline-laced purpose. The rush, the execution, the fear and despair of failure, and the ecstasy and validation of victory. What else offers that robust and varied potential for honing of skills and pursuit of goals that are so clearly visible? I didn't have to look far before I latched on to speedrunning. The tricking community was one of the first times in my entire life that I felt unconditionally and unequivocally accepted and loved by a community. And when I attended my first GDQ in 2024, I was getting a pretty similar feeling all over again.
Alright, it's serious practice time, so we're all together in a serious practice room where I'm setting up on a serious practice computer with Ruff City, and I'm gonna do a serious practice run with regular commentary with some lads behind me, and then we're gonna figure things out for their runs as well, and then we're gonna try to sleep.
It's an entirely different kind of commentary altogether.
Altogether.
It's an entirely different kind of commentary.
In a row?
Altogether.
In between practice runs, we ran into Mello Acevedo, one of the hosts and staff members of GDQ, who had earlier performed a very entertaining skit as a part of the AGDQ 2025 pre-show. Mello was of high energy and spirits, and that bolstered us as we hurtled toward our very big day.
Our practice runs with commentary went well, and now all that remains is hoping for a miracle that we can really get some decent rest tonight, although our window is already closing, but that's not the sort of thinking that I should actually be entertaining.
Here's the time. The alarm is set for. Dun dun dun.
Wait a minute, that's only 6 hours from now, and I haven't even eaten yet.
Yeah.
For you.
That sounds like a you.
So, without further,
Here we go. What's up, everybody? It's 3:35 a.m.
Yeah.
The fact that I am filling this room with the sound of my voice is irresponsible. I feel like the concept of sound is offensive at this moment, but I got more than 0 hours of sleep. I got about an hour and a half, and that is, you know, kind of a win. And hopefully that'll take us to victory. But we need to take ourselves to the green room very soon, because we have been summoned, so it's about time. Green room time.
It's green.
It's green. I'm not let down at all. Now we're just all going to be in here. Me and my commentators, we're all in here. We're just going to be waiting until we're called onto the stage, and then we're going to get everything set up with tech, and then it'll be just waiting for the moment. It's amazing. It's time. Almost. This is a bit of a hurry up and wait kind of part of the event, but it's incredible. It's incredible to be able to do this.
As I got on stage and attempted to log into Steam to be able to play my game, something went wrong. The PC was not connected to the internet, and the button to log into Steam in offline mode refused to work. For several minutes, the incredible tech crew and staff at AGDQ were running around with a bit of a confused and unsure air, as suddenly, it seemed at best my run would be delayed. But eventually, somehow, all of a sudden, when I clicked the Open Steam and Offline Mode button, it worked. And everything was a go.
On the next run.
I know, right? Yeah, just set it up here.
Kickstand on the table. We're good.
I'm ready. I'm excited. I mean, I hope I'm ready. You never know until they kick it to the main cam. But
I would say that you're ready. It's just a matter of whether or not they're ready.
Are you ready?
Corn begins.
Probably.
Thank you so much, Joker. Hey, everybody, I'm Saria, and it's an absolute joy and honor and delight to be here to be a part of this and to have a crew behind me who, even though they won't be able to probably get much of a word in edgewise, I still appreciate them being here because it looks like I have friends. I'll go ahead and let them introduce themselves.
Hi, I'm Yels Rake.
I'm Mad Mega.
I'm Chess Jerk.
And I hope you like what you see, because for the next like 6 hours or so, you're going to be seeing a lot of us in what we're calling roommate block, because we're basically going to be playing musical chairs and handing the controller off to each other as we all do our runs, because we were all fortunate enough to be accepted. And also we have a special star appearance from Super Lucky's Tale, but it all starts right here with Ruff City, a cute, short, straightforward indie beat-em-up title from 2023, and it stars a cute cartoon dog named Lucky who is fighting through the city against his old gang called the Hounds in order to face off against the Duke and reclaim something precious that was taken from him. And it's all going to get started in just a moment here. If we're all ready, let's do this.
Let's do it.
In 3, 2, 1. Tetris! I mean, go. So.
Another tech issue occurred with the timer. There were difficulties starting the timer, and attempts to catch it up to the right moment were initially faulty. But not only do I not mind this, I feel it added a little extra character to the run. It made it more memorable. Thank you again to the incredible tech crew for everything they do.
That's a fun little glitch, by the way. This is a beautiful game. All the glitchers, except for the infinite weapon glitch, are quite minor and not game-breaking at all. This is not a great fight because I'm not really able to show off what I am trying to talk about with her walking into the wall and just sort of jittering and getting stuck and taking a long time between her attacks. But it was still an okay fight.
That was a heckin' doggo right there.
Yeah, she's incredible.
Big heckin' dog.
So many incredible creatures, la creatura, in this run, in this game. No train hit me, which was very nice. But that wouldn't have hurt me too bad. Nobody in this game is getting hurt, I don't think. When you hear those dog pain noises, and it can be a little bit tough, like animal violence. But I'd like to think this is just playtime. Like, look at that guy having fun. Look at that guy getting hit in the train in the back of the head and falling over and disappearing. He's fine. They're just having fun. But yeah, I'm just trying to deal as many hits as possible in between and during attacks. And the rest of the fight just looks like this. And so this gives us an opportunity to read some donations whenever you have some.
Well, we've got plenty here. We've got $25 from the Cute Stream Collective. Good luck to Saria Song from Zizzy, the Woodlings, the Jades, Swords, Black Feathers, and Silver Star. Keep it rough, Cuneo style.
Thank you so much, my dear friends.
We've also got $30 from Bisuki, who says, "Hi, Saria, it's Bisuki. Oh. Miss you, so proud of you. Seeing you doing what you love continues to bring me so much joy. You're an inspiration. Thanks, everyone, for staying up to watch. I'm chanting your name like a cheerleader right now."
Thank you, Bisuki. Oh my gosh, long time no see. Holy cow, I hope everybody's doing amazing. Thank you all for being up at 4:30 a.m. on the East Coast. And now we're facing this they did really early attacks there. I just got slapped around, but that happens. This is a beat 'em up, and sometimes you get beat up in the beat 'em up, even when you're trying to beat 'em up the other beat 'em uppers. This is an unfortunate stage here because the edges of the screen do not stop the enemies. They can just walk out. They can just leave. They can just hit the bricks, and then you can't hit them anymore.
And they have swords. I'm so concerned. Yeah, the sticks made sense.
Yeah, I don't want that bad anymore. Get out of here.
Yeah, no.
I want this katana, which again, I don't think anybody's actually getting hurt. I'm going to drop it for now. I'm going to take it into the boss fight later because that'll deal some more damage against the boss, which I think is more efficient. We'll see.
I get it. I think it's a katana.
Oh my goodness. See, this is exactly why I have these people behind me. I knew that I wasn't going to regret having commentators. Thank you so much. And now I'm going to try and keep that pug alive if I can, because I want to be able to take a few more hits with it to charge up my super meter just enough to be able to use my long super against the 2 tanks that are about to come in. This is one of the most crucial spawns in the entire game. I just barely wasn't able to get the long super charged in time, but they also cooperated, and they just walked in the same direction and exposed their back to me at the perfect amount of back exposure. I am doing, oh, are you going to get stuck on the plant? Whee! Whee!
Cat is having. I can't tell you how many times I've had to stop a cat from eating a plant.
I know, right?
So it's a little too real for me.
It's such a catastrophe.
I still love you despite everything. This is exactly what I was hoping for. This has been a pretty good run, too, and we're headed into the final confrontation against the Duke, a tiny dog with its tongue hanging out.
Aww.
But, oh, look, it has the power of pride, which means it's absolutely unstoppable. We can't do anything while this attack is active. It's invincible, and it can just stun lock us forever. And so we're going to try and 3-cycle this thing at all costs.
Nice phase 1. Nice phase 1.
Thank you very much. And coming up, of course, is phase 2, because you have to have a phase 2. And oh no, he's hot.
Oh, baby.
But this one we can just kind of attack at all times. This one I can dance around and throw some jabs. This next attack is very short, and now this one is undodgeable, unfortunately. Just kidding, did I get you? I think that is the only way to dodge that attack, especially once we get to the agitated phase right here. The only way to dodge this grab is to use the invincibility from your super attack.
Time is coming up, by the way.
Yeah, time is coming up very soon. There we go, time. And then Lucky has retrieved the precious toy ball from the Duke. And it's a gorgeous sight. And now that there's a moment for you all to breathe, do you have any thoughts about, do you feel good about what we've done here?
Rough.
Rough? Feel rough?
Yeah, I feel a bit off. What was I supposed to say? No, no.
It is very, very early in the morning. Is it? That was Ruff. Yes, there you go. Absolutely gorgeous scenes. That was Ruff City. Just a cute, adorable, and straightforward, simple game. It doesn't try to reinvent the wheel, and I really don't think it has to. It's just a game that wants to be what it is, and so it is. And it kind of represents the simple joy of making games to me. And I think that's a nice energy to be able to spread around. And I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do that and just to be here on stage. I've always wanted to be an entertainer, and so this is an incredible opportunity for me. And it's just this organization and this event has been so important and inspirational to me for more than 10 years now. And cancer is something that has dismayed me more than just about anything in life for my entire life. It has taken several family members and friends, both people and pets, from me. And my grandmother on my father's side was diagnosed about 15 years ago. She was given a 10% chance to live. And just like in a beat 'em up, she kicked the stuffing out of it, and she's still going strong into her mid-90s. Pretty happy. That went about as well as I could have ever hoped. And Super Lucky's tail is absolutely adorable. New Super Lucky's tail, excuse me. And back on stage soon, and we go again with commentary. Let's do this.
And so it was. After a brilliant run by Steve TV Online of New Super Lucky's Tale, it was back on stage to support and commentate for Mad Mega X381 and Dick Tracy, which would prove to be, though I may be biased, one of the greatest runs of the entire event.
I read you loud and clear, GDQ. Thank you. This is Dick Tracy. I'm here. Actually, no, I'm not Dick Tracy. I'm Mad Mega. All right. Can I get a clue? The first 2 clues read, actually, for me, Yels, please.
Fake $20 bill used near Steve the Tramp's flophouse, see? Footprints in a puddle of spilled green ink, see?
Oh. All right, thank you. So the way that this game works is Dick Tracy is given a case and he has to solve it. The way he does that is that he's going to go through and we're going to collect some evidence to put away a bunch of... oh, I need to tie my shoe. Sorry about that. and put away some of the rogues gallery that Dick Tracy has. I mean, there are a lot of really interesting fellas here that we're going to deal with, but hopefully not get shot too much more here. This has my favorite enemy in the game, actually. As I said, I am a super cop. He seems to think that that's literal. I'm going to jump to grab this clue, and he thinks I can fly. Can I get that clue read, please?
Blank money paper and invoice from First and H Print Shop, see?
Oh, that's where we are.
Oh, claim ticket from 4th and B Shoe Repair, see?
Oh, well, we were already there. Perfect. This is good. I think we're right where we need to be. The cardinal directions: you can only drive on the right side of the road. You're a law-abiding police officer for the most part. For the most part. We're going to park here very specifically for a reason that we'll see when we come out of this.
See?
We'll see. We'll see. See? Well, we picked up the super punch, and and I really got to talk about that. We turn everybody into Zoidbergs with a super punch. His racket.
Boom. It turns enemies into projectiles, and anybody that they touch is instantly vaporized.
Hey, I hope you don't mind me jumping in for a second, see, but I just looked over and I noticed we're at $2,890 out of $3,000 for that pizza possum dress-up, see? Oh, my goodness, now we're at $2,900. Can we get another $100 by the end of this run?
$100? Isn't that a C note?
Nah, that's when you don't hold any of the buttons down on the trumpet.
Get out of the car, Tracy.
We got $5 from Trick Daisy that says Trick Daisy.
All right, so this stage is awesome because I get to punch one guy and walk. I just hold right, and then I have to walk over here.
That's a nice holding right.
This must be absolutely terrifying for the guy you're about to bust. He just watches you do the Darth Vader walk all the way across the room while all of his cronies just fall down behind you.
Can I get the first clue, please, Yels?
Detective Sam Ketchum received a letter bomb, see?
Oh, geez, a letter bomb. That's not good. Let's run to 5th and C.
Oh, see?
See what we see.
See?
You mean to tell me he received it?
You know what? I think we have 2 clues.
We got 2 clues, see?
We got 2 clues.
Back scratcher with embossed eye, see?
Wait, an I or a C?
I, see?
See?
Okay.
Did he stutter?
I, see?
I see.
You?
What do you see?
Discarded note. Slip the blank of Mickey and keep him asleep, see?
Okay, we're about to arrest Flat Top. We have all of the information we need on him. This is a good time for a donation or two.
Oh, fantastic, because I got a question for you.
All right, go ahead.
I got $25 from Tongue Twistin', see? It says, she sells seashell on the seashore, see? The shells she sells, see, are seashells, I'm sure, see? For if she sells those seashells on that damn dirty seashore, then I'm sure she sells seashore shells. We got $50 from Shannon Says What that says Dick Tracy knows how to say yes in Spanish. See?
See?
I don't know why that's the one that broke me.
If we do this right, there's going to be a guy and his dog, and we're going to punch them both. And then that should take out those 2 guys.
It's Rough City.
It's a rough city out there, see?
Mr. Tracy, you got a moment to answer some questions for the press? Well, we got $50 from Elliot Ness, who would like to know what opponents are in the ocean. Sea anemones.
Ah.
And we got $5 from Ultra Ubinus, says, what is Dick Tracy's favorite drink? Well, it's high C, of course.
Yes, it's fantastic.
See?
All right, we found another clue, please.
Discarded note. Keep him at First and J basement. B. C.
B. C.
B. C.
How many years?
D. E.
Who's on first?
Card.
I'm getting hungry. I want a T-bone, see?
Gonna be able to punch one of these guys here and walk right behind him to sort of like pave the road, as you will. Gonna jump. Perfect. That's exactly what we were trying to do. I swear to you, that is exactly how it is supposed to look at home. Do not adjust your television set. We're gonna take our first aid here. Yels, you can read that clue, but it's up at the top of the screen for those at home if they want.
Oh, chloroform bottle. The brow's fingerprints, see?
All right, so I can go arrest the Brow.
So, I got a telegram from HQ. The NES is not dead, see? I repeat, the NES is not dead. Mostly thanks to the pals on stage right now. Mad Mega finally getting his chance to shine live on the big stage. Some of my favorite people putting on a legendary run, making George the Fat Man Singer proud. Best of luck, fellas. You're gonna need it. Prune face. That was $38.10 from Mixmaster PJ. See?
Thank you, PJ. There's Stoogeviller. There's this guy, Pruneface. And they don't know where he is. They have no idea where Pruneface is.
Hit the bricks.
You can hit the street, hit the bricks.
You could just leave.
So we're going to go back up here to First and C. And, First and C, see? And maybe this is Pruneface. I'm Dick Tracy. Take that, Pruneface. Well, now I'm Pruneface. Take that, Dick Tracy. Now I'm Prune Tracy. Take that.
Donation, please. Donation.
And we got $5 from Guarian. What's Dick Tracy's favorite programming language? C. C.
C shop, see?
We got $25 from Anonymous who wants to know why Carmen Sandiego's dressed in yellow.
So you can see. Oh, sorry.
Yes.
8th and C Bank knocked over by masked gunmen.
Yeah, I feel like we've glossed over the fact that, well, several notes here. One, those gunmen must be really strong to do that. Second, I feel like we're here and the bank is still standing, so something's up here.
Heist money hidden in Big Boy's deposit box, see?
All right, so
Who's Big Boy, see?
we're going to arrest Big Boy. And first things first, we're going to use our last first aid, and we are going to tear gas that guy. And the tear gas gives you the super punch. So we're literally just going to use that to basically send him and clear a road for us. And now we're just throwing tear gas and eliminating enemies until we can go and arrest Big Boy. So we're very close to the end here.
You know what happens when you throw tear gas? They can't see.
Oh, they can't see.
No, somebody happens to agree with you. We got $10 from Blue Moon Shadow. Says, I can't see with all this tear gas. See?
All right, time is coming up when I hit arrest on Big Boy here. And that is coming up here.
Have some tea, see? Tea is in time.
Arrest, that is time. Tea is in time.
I had to you, Tracy. I hate your guts, but you're a good cop.
Oh, congratulations, Tracy. You're 1 in a million.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you to my couch, my wonderful friends here. We're not going away just yet. Thank you to everybody out in the crowd who came to cheer me on. I appreciate all of you so much. Just thank you so much. Shout outs to my wife, my own Tess Trueheart. She makes me a better person. You know what? I'm not going away completely, but that's it for Dick Tracy. See me again maybe in 20 years to life, right?
See ya, see?
Yeah.
20 years to life.
Well done, Dick Tracy.
Tracy.
See? See?
Dick Tracy went absolutely amazing too. Well done to Mega. And now one more for roommate block.
Time to snack.
Time to snick.
Hi, everybody. My name is Yels.
My name is Chester.
And we are going to play some Snake, Rattle, and Roll for you. A real quick tutorial for those that aren't very familiar with this game. So this game has a lot of ice mechanics in it. And I'm just like tapping left so that I don't die.
I'm holding nothing right now, by the way.
Because you just died, yes.
Yeah.
But just to illustrate just how delicate some of the movement is here, I'm just going to let go of left. And I've died instantly. Also, now I'm gonna hold left to try to keep myself on this slope. I decided I want to move slightly over to the side, so I'm gonna hold a diagonal, like left and down.
That's a good idea.
And I died immediately.
Oh.
So, just so you know,
man,
cardinal directions only, friends. That's all we're looking for in this game, and you'll be punished otherwise.
Thank goodness.
So, thank goodness for that. We have a really sharp-dressed couch behind us that I think
my goodness, look at these.
himself.
Very different ways.
Just so you know, I'm the purple snack, and you can tell that I'm the purple snack because I'm the one with the purple beard.
I'm the orange one because
He's the
I'm
one
not the purple one.
that doesn't have the purple beard.
But we are on the badges.
We are, yes. We are the ones on the runner volunteer badge.
Shout outs to GDQ for putting us on the badges.
Shout outs to GDQ and to LLK for the amazing badges. There's me. There's CJ. There's us right there. See? All right. Okay. So we are going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, 1, go. So now we've got the lovely swimming stages, and I'm going to let the commentators take over and explain what on earth is going on.
Sure thing. So you see that there are some fish swimming around. This is just a water form of the nibbly-pibblies in this game, as the game calls them, where the object of this game is to climb. Every single level is a new layer of a mountain that you're climbing, and they skipped way ahead in the mountain. And in this stage, they have to keep collecting nibbly-pibblies because it's going to increase their weight, and they have to be at a certain weight in order to progress through the stages and progress through the game. And there are different colors for the nibbly-pibblies. That black one right there is a gold one in disguise. The gold ones are the best. They are worth 3. You can hear them counting because they need to get to a certain number 15, of weight 18. To be able to go forward. And there's a sound effect that plays whenever the room opens, and then you can just leave. And
hit the bricks.
Hit the bricks. Hit the bricks. But yeah, the golds are the best. Those are worth 3, and then the other ones are the colors of the snakes. So if
one of us got it,
I had no idea.
Might have been on the screen.
If Rattle collects one that is the same color as Rattle, then it's worth 2 points. If Roll collects one that's the same color as Roll, it's worth 2 points. Otherwise, it's worth 1 point if they collect one that is the other snake's color. But they've just reached the end of this stage 8. Incredible.
Yels and CJ then proceeded to absolutely dominate stage 9.
Perfect. Will you settle for one long and awesome one?
Absolutely.
Because we have $248 from Ellipsis.
Woo!
That says, look at that! My marble fam is back on stage. Not content with devastating co-op marble madness, Yels, Rake, and Chess Jerk needed to find yet another isometric hellscape to submerge themselves in. Congratulations on presenting us another fantastic NES co-op classic, No Step on Sneck.
No step on Sneck.
I also want to let people know super quick, we did just open up a character choice bid war for Peglin, and that is open obviously until Peglin begins, which is pretty darn soon. So get those donations in if you want to see a particular character for that Peglin run.
I did nothing during that part, whatever.
The Pibbly shooter there can just randomly give you whatever ones at once, and it gave us 5 purple Pibblies in a row. So that was all me.
Yeah, that was
hashtag
fast.
missed a jump.
So yeah, all ice physics here. Just keep that in mind.
What
wall,
an unbelievable stage.
Wow.
Then, in stage 10, Snake, Rattle, and Roll punched back.
So we start stage 10 here with a little sequence break. I don't necessarily think that you were supposed to jump over that, and I didn't. There we go.
Second try every time.
Second try every time. We're also
First try.
not going to wake this foot up if we can help it, because the foot is angry, and it lags a lot.
And it shakes the whole screen.
Shakes the whole screen.
Yeah,
there we go. A bomb, finally. So the Pibblies can sometimes be bombs and just be like, oops, I'm going to explode instead. And
just like that.
And this is the RNG slot machine that is Snake, Rattle, and Roll. You're like, boy, I wish we could get Pibblies to eat.
Yeah.
Oops, all bombs.
It went really well. It went really well in the last stage, and now it's going right back in their faces. It's literally blowing up in their faces. So this is possible to do while the foot is active like that.
I should not have been saying there.
Having taken a death now, CJ's weight dropped to a level below what it was when they started the stage.
It's going swimming.
We should maybe we should kill the foot.
I don't think you can. I think it moves too fast.
That's true, it might.
Snake, Rattle, and Roll, a notoriously brutal game for many reasons, and you can kind of see that happening now. They were absolutely dominating this game up until this point, but you see that the game can just sort of just make it blow up in your face at any moment.
if they don't give you the pibblies, you can't move very much, and you're really just at the mercy of RNG here.
I mean, it's okay. This song is a banger.
Yeah,
so,
that's fair.
Like, it's just...
Finally, the game gave them the weight that they needed in order to complete the stage. But the most difficult was yet to come.
We got a pretty precarious climb here. Keep in mind, all ice.
Ice and slanted platforms. Like peanut butter and jelly.
Slippery in multiple directions.
And lag.
And laggy.
Don't forget the lag. All ice. And a door in the middle of the wall. That's always a good thing.
Oh, game over.
Marathon's over. All right, see you all.
No, I have continued.
Oh, okay. I guess.
Boop, boop, boop.
I think you should play on.
Oh, jeez, I hit up instead of left.
Hey, look, it's still ice physics.
Oh, yeah, but all ice still. Oh, yeah, okay. I was expecting to be at the bottom of the slope, not the top.
One more game over, and they would have to start again from the beginning of the game.
I think you're still at the top of it. Oh, no, because you fell off the bottom this time. Yeah, okay.
Okay, good. Wow, okay.
Yeah, game is still incredibly hard.
Yelsrake went into serious mode as he suddenly found his back firmly against the wall with no room for error left.
Okay.
I don't have any more continues.
Yeah.
The thing about marathon runs is that, in most circumstances, you only get one shot. Most marathon runs, just like the marathons themselves, are miracles hanging on by a thread every single moment. Things will go wrong. And if Yels had used his last continue and game overed, it would have been okay. But every runner who goes on to the big stage hopes for things to go as well as possible, and at the very least, to finish the run. No one is a failure when that doesn't come to pass. No matter how these runs end, they're still an asset to the marathon. But still, for Yelsrake and Chestjerk to clutch up in the last moment and see the run to the finish line is all we can really ask for.
Time.
What a run.
What a run.
What a run.
What a run.
It was all pretty much a dream come true, aside from the fact that I was kind of falling asleep throughout the next two runs, but it's still like everything went just about as well as I could have imagined and hoped for, and I'm just so grateful. And now I'm gonna probably try and grab a nap or something and see if I can enjoy the rest of the day and the rest of the event, and I'll show you what it's like being a runner at an event after the run is done. Thank you for watching this far. I really hope that this has been engaging or entertaining or helpful to you so far, regardless of whether you're planning on doing anything like this in the future, or you already have, or you're just watching this for fun. This is wild. I am now a proud owner of more sleep than I had before, and I think that'll work out pretty well so I can stay on my sleep schedule that I worked so hard to get before the event, while still being able to enjoy the rest of this day, although it was a bit sad that I missed the rest of the retro block, but I think it was probably the right thing to do. I was not really going to be able to be conscious for that. One really nice thing that happened right after my run was Bluekandy, who I had supported the day before, was standing there in front of the stage and waiting to congratulate me, and I really appreciate that. Thank you, Blue. It's such an odd hour of the day. It's not like it worked out, it just happened to work out for him, but still, it still meant a lot to me. And now I'm gonna just sort of hang out in the Afterglow in the fun, casual practice room, so I guess I'll see you in a bit or something.
In the GDQ practice room, the back area is dedicated to special events, usually tournaments or competitions. One such tournament was the Cuso Grande Live Tournament. And today, as Seth Highwind provided commentary, the players tackled Bongo, which Liz Stars showed impressive dominance of. Then, as I gravitated back to the main practice room area, something else snagged my eye.
So as we go through the years and technology improves and people get more and more nerdy, you see incredible things happening in the practice room, like a Super Mario Brothers for the NES race setup where every single individual runner is being tracked in the world on a big screen so we can all follow what's going on. And you can just do things like that at a GDQ. It's just really fun. You should come if you want to, if you can.
What are you doing?
This is a setup done by FlibidyDibidy, and it's absolutely amazing. It blows my mind. This is incredibly fun to watch.
But then, I noticed something unsettling.
As I was watching the amazing Super Mario Brothers racing happening, I noticed all of a sudden that I didn't have my badge on me, and that was a little bit scary, as I wondered if I had misplaced it somewhere forever, and that I would be That's not, I shouldn't say that.
Scolded, perhaps?
Yes, that I would be scalded in hot...
No, scolded.
Scolded.
In hot, yeah. In hot,
juices.
I was thinking more like hot disappointment. Maybe like scolded and disappointment from the staff. Like,
I thought I'd be thrown out and laced and lashed. Turns out it was here, and I'm just very forgetful because I change clothes twice every 3 seconds, and I should be better. So if you're forgetful, double check every single thing that is on you and that you need to be on you at all times. Every time you're leaving your room, every time you're going somewhere from where you just were, double check everything at all times, because things happen and things are going at 1,000,000 miles an hour at a GDQ, and there are so many things you want to do and there's so many things that are going to be on your mind. Keep a routine going, keep things close to you, keep things on you, and be careful. Also, if you don't mind me asking, how are you feeling, Yels? How did you feel everything went?
Generally speaking, I think the run went okay.
Yeah.
You know, the run was really nice up until a specific point, and then it really wasn't. I was definitely a bit out of sorts on the last climb in 10. I'll admit that. I wasn't in the positions that I'm usually in. I was having difficulty correcting from the positions I was normally in.
Yeah.
So like it was a little bit of guesswork, and a lot of the guesses didn't work, but the last guess did work.
And in a way, to me, that serves to show off the game even more, because I just posted a comment on the video saying, you dominated the game in stage 9, and then the game showed how it can dominate in stage 10.
Indeed,
and that's the experience of Snake, Rattle, and Roll.
For sure, yeah, no, it really, I walked away from it thinking that, well, hopefully it illustrates, like, why did I bother talking about the slopes at the beginning of the run?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Because of that.
Yep.
It destroyed me for about 45 seconds.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, overall, like, I'm happy with the run. I think we presented the run well. You know, it attests to my perpetual feeling that when it comes to most co-op runs, I'm really just there to be the second human for my brother who's good at games. Again, it's just very good.
I think you both are equally regarded, and I know that I think we all think that CJ always deserves more recognition than he gets.
100%.
But you're both the incredible Kearsley brothers for different reasons, and it's incredible to be able to be a part of your journeys. So thank you for having me along.
Absolutely. Wouldn't have it any other way.
So now that it's been several hours since my run and there's been a bit of an aftermath and some time to reflect on things, I feel just about the same way I did during and after the run and before the run. It was almost like an afterglow ever since I was accepted. And the run itself was just a joy, and I'm so fortunate and grateful that my brain was active enough for it to be able to perform the way I did in commentary and on the game itself. And
There was a little bit of tech issues, actually. Things were pretty freaking scary because I could tell there was a bit of rustling and bustling and confusion on the tech side of things as they tried to find out what to do. But thankfully, I just had to wait for a few moments and then try the offline button again, and it let me start the game. And so the show could go on. And like sometimes those issues don't get resolved right away, and sometimes things have to be pushed back or moved around, or you have to bring in a completely different computer onto the stage, because that's part of the reason probably why they had me install my run on 2 different computers when I was installing my game on computers, so that like if worst comes to worst, they could try bringing an entirely different setup onto the stage and just try everything until something works, or until they run out of ideas and then they have to come up with something else, until they have to work it out, because they have to come up with something in the end. And thankfully it didn't come to that. But also something happened with the timer on my run, as is probably pretty obvious if you watched that run or if you watch it in the future. Yes, it's noticeable, but it doesn't really affect the experience in a negative way for me at all. I'm just incredibly happy with how everything went. I'm just happy it happened at all. I'm thrilled with my commentators who had my back. I'm thrilled with the way I did, and the fact that there was anybody in the room at all at 4:30 a.m. like, makes me feel really nice, and I can't wait for the rest of the event. But I don't want it to go too fast, because this is just an amazing time of the year, and whenever it's over, I wish I could go back and do it all again, but that's what the year after is for, and the summer game's done quick, and all the different marathons that anybody offers, local or regional or other international events, there's just so much to love about what this is all about. It's amazing to be a part of it again. Immense shout outs to everybody who was behind the scenes and anybody who was working on any part of the event. Like I mentioned in the run, like I would love to list every single person by name if I could, because they're all so crucial to all of this happening. And everybody did an amazing job for my run. Tech issues happen, and it doesn't bother me at all. I'm just so grateful that it happened at all.
After some characteristic navel-gazing, I resumed watching the awesome Super Mario Bros. Races, as all sorts of people sat down to try, and some of the people scheduled to do the main stage race of this game the next day practiced for that big event.
Let's go. Good race, guys.
Chess Jerk also participated, and afterward I got his thoughts on the Snake Rattle and Roll run.
So how about you? How did you feel like everything went with your 3rd experience running at a GDQ?
I think it went really well. I think obviously having been on the stage for what 2 hours ahead of time,
yeah,
I made a lot of the nerves go away because just going straight up.
That's interesting. Yeah, because I think for some people it would like you would just be nervous the entire time leading up to it. Yeah. But that's good to hear that that wasn't the case for you.
Yeah. But no, after the first hours, after being on there for like an hour or so, it was really chill.
Nice. So that's great.
It also helped that the game really isn't as hard as we make it look. So the odds of us really, if like game overing or anything like that really wasn't a concern until the end.
Yeah.
That's I'm good on there. But I think overall, it went really well.
You sure made it look easy in stage 9. I'll say that.
Yeah.
That was incredible.
Skip stage 10. That was the problem. But no, it went well.
Yeah, I think you did great.
Thank you.
Again, and this man deserves more credit and more eyes on him and more support. Follow him at twitch.tv/Chester, please. You'll not regret it if you enjoy retro content, if you enjoy chill atmosphere. And
I gotta have heart.
And that badge is incredible.
Oh, it is. There's me.
There he is.
Right.
Resemblance is uncanny.
Then Mad Mega showed up, so I asked him about his legendary maiden AGDQ run.
Say no.
How do you feel about your first GDQ experience on the main stage?
I'm happy with how it went. Like it went a lot easier than I kind of anticipated, right? Like I was nervous about a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like once it got going, the first like handful of minutes, right? Like it got a lot simpler, right? So I was happy with how it went. I had a couple of things that got screwed up, but I didn't let anything like break it. And honestly, like commentary and the host, like you guys made it so easy. Like I at any point where I just wasn't talking or anything, like somebody was able to help out. Or
it felt like the easiest run out of all three. Not because it was an easy game and because there wasn't any risk involved, but just because it was the easiest atmosphere.
100%.
It just happened.
100%. Yeah, it was very.
See? Yeah, well done. It was. Yeah, people are talking about that being like the must-watch run of the roommate block, and for good reason. It was played to perfection, and you did a great job with your commentary. Represented the game immensely well. George the Fat Man Sanger would be proud.
It was a good time.
The day went by quickly, and after some dinner with Mad Mega, my body started to feel the effects of the day.
Toward the end of night 2 here on Monday, and Yels and Chester just went bowling, which sounds incredibly fun, and I should absolutely have gone with them, but I seem to have run out of my energy from the 3 extra hours of sleep after I took a nap, and I keep teetering on the edge of just passing out cold, which is unfortunate, but I'll try not to have regrets about it, and that's the thing, like, there will probably be more opportunities for me to do things like that at these events. It seems like there are things like that crop up at GDQs, especially with this specific friend group and like the larger group that surrounds it. Things like this keep happening, and so I'm not going to treat this as like I just missed a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and neither should you whenever things like that happen. If you're too tired to do something, feel free to listen to your body. That said, Yels and CJ are also super tired, and they have way more going on with volunteer stuff tomorrow than I do, and they're just doing it anyway because they're just that type of person, and they know that, like, for them, it's going to be worth it, and they can justify it. So this is the sort of event where it does pay to live outside your comfort zone a little bit, but not to the degree where you're going to be so uncomfortable that you can't enjoy yourself at all. And it's a tough line to be able to see and to find and to walk, but there will be people around you to help you out if you open yourself to that, and if you're as lucky as me and you're coming into the event with people that you just feel so natural with. So bedtime is probably very near in my future, but I'm suddenly like not passing out at this moment. We'll see what happens. My body is incredibly strange. I don't understand it. I just wish I could sleep like a normal person, but I'm an insomniac, so hopefully tonight I get some good sleep. I'm gonna need it. So, looking back on that, right after they left, my body did indeed lose its falling asleepness, and by the time they returned, I was still awake. And so, I really wish I would have gone, but I'm trying to not approach that from the standpoint of having a regret. And that's still kind of my advice about this, is don't have regrets about it. Treat it like a learning experience. Next time something like this happens, I'll have that as an experience, and I'll probably be more likely to actually participate next time. It sounded like a really fun time, and Yels and CJ and PGH Guitar Guy, who was the one hosting the little charity event that they were going to, are amazing bowlers. Like, they are up there, and I love watching people in their element. I love watching people excel at something and do it at a very high level. So, maybe next time. But still, you don't have to. You shouldn't have to feel like every single thing that you could be doing at the event is something that you will regret not doing, because that'll put way too much pressure on you, and you'll enjoy what you are doing less. And this is something you should be able to feel like you can relax at as well. So yes, it was unfortunate that one of the main reasons I didn't go ended up not really mattering anyway, because it took me a long time to fall asleep, but I did eventually fall asleep, and the next day was the beginning of something beautiful. Welcome to something beautiful that we call NESblock, run by the legend Mad Mega. He brings a very complex, convoluted setup so that he can do recordings of people basically doing our own little videos for our own set called NESblock of NES games and Famicom games, and it'll be something that will be all put together after the event and streamed with the recordings, and it's something that Mad Mega does every single GDQ that he attends. And I just performed a River City Ransom run. River
University ran some novice for it, and I won't spoil how it went in case you want to watch it, but it was a lot of fun, and I plan to do some more runs for it soon, and Super Dodgeball just got started right now. Let's go. We're doing like a Kunio-kun block. I'm really excited.
So we're just going to do 4 steps back, 4 steps forward, and we hit the whole team. That's exactly what we want to say.
NESblock is an amazing and pretty flexible thing for anybody to come to try, as long as you're playing an NES or Famicom game. There are people who play speedruns, like who didn't get into the marathon, and this is their chance to kind of be able to perform at the event. And there are people who have already performed at the event that might even come back and play the same game for NESblock, like Yels is doing right now with Snake, Rattle, and Roll, trying to redeem himself after having a really rough stage 10 on stage during his co-op run.
This game has swimming levels, which automatically makes me interested in it.
And you can even learn games for NESblock, and you can do casual runs. You can just try to beat the game. You can do showcases, challenge runs, anything you could think of. Bring it to NESblock, bring good energy, and it'll be a great inclusion. So hope to see you here at some point.
While running the event, Mad Mega was gracious enough to give me some of the history of NESblock and his thoughts on it.
So, I mean, it started all a handful of years ago. We were at Nando's in DC. There was an Agdq, I think. It sort of just became a, let's see how many NES runs we could do. So the very first time we used like Papadot's PC, we recorded everything on his. Like it was totally like just random, suddenly like set up by a handful of people. And then I don't remember if it necessarily came back immediately after, but Agdq in 2020 was the one in Florida. So I brought my laptop that time and I set it up and it ran pretty well. And then since that one, I've run it off of this machine specifically, which was not the one that I did back then. And I needed a new laptop that was a gaming laptop, and I basically bought this with the intention of it was going to come with me to GDQs and do this task. Like I bought it with that purpose in mind, and it's been great for it. Like everything works for the most part. Like there's a couple of technical issues every year, you know, like, but it's been pretty reliable. And from the technical side, it's relatively easy. And you know, the thing that's greatest for me, I think, is that, you know, every year I do it, and there's always like a ton of positive feedback, and everybody's really excited for it. And I always, you know, I'm getting ready before Agdq this year, and I'm thinking, you know, I really hope there's some interest in it. I'm going to set up, you know, and I hope that, you know, there's. Every year without fail, one of the first things that everybody asks me when I talk to them is like, when is NESblock? I want to do something for NESblock. Like the retro community specifically around the NES, like they want to show stuff off. Like we have cool things, and you know, the young kids, I suppose, they might not find our old games quite so fascinating anymore, but we all think they're cool. So this is really just for all of us old fogies, you know. And the whole community really seems to enjoy it. Like it always ends up being a congregating point for people throughout the week. Like there's, when NESblock is up, there's always a gaggle of people around that TV watching whatever game's going on. It's really cool that that's like my best contribution, I think, to retro speedrunning in general, but NES speedrunning specifically. Like I've run a bunch of games. Like I've got a handful of world records in lesser known games and things like that. But I'd argue that for me, the most impactful and best thing that I do for the community is this event here that I do at Agdq. So I take some small pride in it. It seems to be well received. So it makes it. I enjoy it a lot.
I took a break from NESblock to check out the main stage Super Mario Bros. Racing with FlibidyDibidy's setup, and boy am I glad I did, because I saw something epic.
Oh my goodness. I would believe that the scalpel got a little bit. They both made it already.
There are 2 songs lost about 2 frames, maybe?
No, he lost a little bit on the turnaround in the movement. The scalpel knows what he's got here. Oh no!
Okay, some songs are playing really well.
Then, I got my performance and intensity fix before heading back down to NESblock for the rest of the day, where I would perform 2 more runs. The NES was the console that I grew up with as a child, and it's the console with the most special place in my heart.
Yels took the helm for a bit so that Mega could go get some food because Mega's been at this all day long. But Yels and CJ also have been having to work their day jobs at the event while also being volunteers, while also being runners.
I just hang out. Moral support. Another good example of something you could do at NESblock, randomizers. There's about to be a Blaster Master randomizer. You can just do anything you want as long as it's on the NES. It's a beautiful way to celebrate such a cool era, such a cool console, and it's amazing. And I think it deserves even more support than it gets because it's not a very viewed thing on the internet. So if this is a way to help give it some eyes, I don't even know if this video is going to have anybody watching it at all, but you know, if it does, NESblock, I'll provide links and stuff.
One of the games booted up to be featured in NESblock was Where's Waldo? The world record holder, Crack Attack, has trained his ears to be able to hear the game's title screen music from thousands of miles away, so the moment Django Storm turned it on, he suddenly materialized to commandeer the run.
Okay, you want me to hit the reset button? Not yet. Not until we get... Okay. Okay, casting another potential buffer for the Nebuchadnezzar's affection. So I performed my 3rd NESblock run, and as I was getting up, I forgot the microphone was attached to me, and I snapped it off by stepping on the cord and broke it. And now Mad Mega is on a mad dash to see if he can find super glue to get this thing back and running. And thank you. Oh, see, people appreciate me here. But yeah, I feel kind of bad, but it's okay. It'll be okay. NESblock will go on. I know that no matter what happens, NESblock will find a way. And that's the marathon way. That's just when things go wrong in a marathon, people find a way, and the show must go on. So this is just part of that. It's too bad I did it, but NESblock will go on.
Now it's Mega's turn. Mega, 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 Mega.
Geiger said that he was going to do Dick, Tracy, Dick. And I don't know if they did it.
Because it's Mega's turn to participate, I think it's my turn to actually get off my butt and contribute and be of use. So I'll be hosting Mega's run. I'm executive producer for about 20 minutes. Nothing. What could possibly go wrong? Yeah, you should probably take this setup from me before somebody gets hurt.
NESblock usually runs at GDQs 2 days out of the week, and while it's going, I usually spend most of that day there. But even as I do, I'm in the practice room, and I can at any time get up and walk around and waft through the energies of every corner. The practice room continued to teem with life, and I bathed in its vibrance until it was time to rest at the end of another day. The next day began with the crowd rockin'. Rockin'.
So this day is a bit of a meme.
This is Batman Forever, the arcade game. This was another of the most popular and well-received runs of the entire event, and I encourage you, if you have any interest at all, to just watch the entire thing. You can find it and any of the runs from the marathon on the Games Done Quick YouTube channel. This run really was a treat, and Elrock and his crew nailed it.
And he'll gainer spam you.
Yeah.
Wednesday morning, another neat sequence of runs that I was just able to see with everybody. And another cool thing that Mad Mega has set up in the practice room is a dragster setup, so that people can just sit down and play dragster. It's just sitting there on all the time. The controller is just there so that people can try and get a handle of this incredibly difficult game, this very simple, very short, very hard game. And I haven't tried it yet, but Yels Rate got a new personal best last night, and tons of people have been sitting down and trying it, and that's just one of the many things that you can just come into the practice room and just be a part of. Maybe I'll, not right now, we'll see.
So I quickly sat down to find out what this is all about.
Okay, starting out with an 841, 691 right after that. Apparently my quick run in the 6-second range was a bit of a fluke, because now I'm either blowing my engine pretty early, which is, I think, the normal dragster experience, or getting times in the mid 7-second range. I'll keep trying for a bit. 651, starting to feel like I'm getting the hang of it a little bit, but time will tell, I guess. 644, interesting.
It was a nice, fun first session, but fittingly, I think, I seemed to be geared to enjoy the game in short bursts. So, I once again explored the practice room to see its sights. One such sight to see that day was Spike Vegeta, one of the hosts and staff members of GDQ, preparing for his upcoming run in the event of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. Very impressively preparing, I might add. It's a satisfying speed game. Yet another activity available at the event was the GDQ Hotfix Challenge Speedrun Gauntlet. Tons of stations around the venue had many challenges of many different games to try.
You can get a stamp card and play the challenges, and if you complete them, then somebody who's officiating this can stamp your card with the challenge you completed, and I imagine you get something nice if you complete all of them, maybe more than bragging rights. I'm not sure, but you do.
You do, yeah. Also, actually, you're doing like a vlog right now, so like, there's a thing for that, for if you want to stand for it. Really? Just like, do like post on social media, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Nice.
Yeah, you want to stand?
Sure. Wow, I just completed a challenge. I'm good at gaming even when I'm not gaming, as it turns out.
You're just that good.
Wow.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Shasta.
The moment that I saw that one of the Speedrun Gauntlet challenges was Mega Man 3, I had to sit down to try it. And a few minutes later...
Thank you very much. Yes, as it turns out, this is very cool and fun. Another amazing thing that you can do at a GDQ. I just spotted somebody playing a game that I think is really rad. An Airport for Aliens, currently run by dogs. It's a hilarious game with so much heart, and PMC Trilogy was the one playing it here in the practice room, and I talked to them a little bit, and I learned a little bit of something about how bonus runs work in these marathons, because an Airport for Aliens, currently run by dogs, is slated as a bonus game in AGDQ 2025, so it has a chance to get in Thursday or Friday. And
And the way bonus runs get in is there are certain events during GDQs that happen once a day, checkpoints and daily recaps. And the first run after a checkpoint is called an anchor run. It's a run that is always going to start at that set time. And bonus runs that correspond with certain checkpoints and certain days will be decided whether or not they make it into the marathon during or before that checkpoint. So I'm really hoping that an airport for aliens currently run by dogs gets into the marathon at its corresponding checkpoint, and so I can possibly, if it's a good time, be there in the stream room to watch that one, because man, I think it deserves all the attention it can get.
Plenty of people were practicing their scheduled games in the practice room, including Sharif, who was slated to play a DVD game, Who Shot Johnny Rock, in the Awful Block this year.
Well, I got another 6.1. This is tough for me to beat. I'm getting tons of 6.5s and 6.4s, but seems to be some sort of wall for me right now. I bet this is the common dragster experience. Another 6.17. I'm gaining consistency-ish, and another 6.14 right after. This is, I'm getting somewhere, question mark. Another personal best, 6.11. The tales about this game were true. My fingers are starting to hurt. I'm starting to get pretty ticked off, and I'm not seeing that much progress at all. I got my 6.11, and then I started going early and blowing the engine every single time, and my times got worse. I'm stopping for now. I've experienced the thrill. I've experienced dragster. I've experienced the human element.
However, the practice room energy was just too contagious.
It feels right to try some more attempts of River City Ransom here at HDQ in the practice room, because this is the place where all of us are just playing games that are important to us. So let's see if I can get a fairly clean run of River City Ransom here in the practice room without trying to put too much into this, because this is a game that can absolutely dominate me emotionally, because so much can go wrong every single moment, and you just kind of have to let it be. And so I'm going to try to. Let's have fun.
River City Ransom is a pretty simple speedrun to follow. Many runners of this game lovingly call it a running simulator with a boss rush, where the player must run as fast as possible to specific places where required bosses appear once enemies are defeated. Once all of the required bosses have been defeated, the end of the game will open up, in which case more required bosses must be defeated in order to open up the final boss. I'm playing on the Japanese version of the game because that was simply the version of the game that I had available to me on my laptop.
Let's go. Yes. Platforming. Nice lag.
In this Japanese version, named Downtown Neketsu Monogatari, or Downtown Neketsu Story, instead of the premise being our two heroes fighting against rival gangs, our two heroes are instead fighting against rival schools. Some other key differences are present, including some different money routing, and an entirely new difficulty mode, an easy mode, which is actually not present in the Western version. In the medium difficulty mode that I am playing, which is the most competitive speedrunning category of this game, I am currently second place in the world.
Let's go. Throw away the nerves. Internationals really helped with the cash there. I had to reset the room because the homeboys wouldn't give me enough money. That is enough money. My hands are already super sweaty. This poor laptop. I'm not going to go for the box sled because, you know. Well, I'm dead anyway. Psych!
For the most part, I use all of the fastest known strategies which were discovered by Will Bobsled, the current world record holder.
Run is invalid. I missed the frame perfect input there. Had to take an extra round. Missed the Kobayashi shakedown. That was weird. Missed up the fight. I missed a punch. Time for the high school. Ow, boys.
Though I mentioned things not going perfectly, this is a shockingly clean run for a first attempt of the session after a long layoff.
It's okay. Time to die, though.
An exceedingly cruel game has been quite kind, but the standard enemies can kill me at any moment.
Let's play it safe. That was weird. Alright, let's try and not mess this up.
And now, the most unforgiving fight in the game.
I missed my dash. That's a silly way to make this a bad run.
I accidentally collected the coin, which failed a cutscene skip at the end of the fight, losing me 11 seconds. But I still have to keep it together for the final boss.
Eight-rounder on Simon. Not too bad for my first run in a long time. For my first run of 2025.
I forgot about the one run I did for NESblock.
Certainly a sub 7. But I would have been way happier with that if I had not messed up the dialogue skip. Whatever.
As it turns out, had I not lost 11 seconds by failing the dialogue skip at the Dragon Twins fight, that run would have been only 3 seconds away from 3rd place on the world leaderboards.
That's speedrunning, especially speedrunning this game. You'll never end up with a run that you're super happy with, ever.
Did some River City Ransom. I think every run I finished was sub 7. Did a lot of that, had some fun, and stopped when I should. And then tried a little bit of NES Tetris, which I haven't played for more than 8 months, but even when I was playing it a lot, I absolutely blew at it, and this was no exception. But my last game was fun. I lasted into the level switches and actually made some stacking decisions and accommodated some pieces based on what I saw in the next box, which is like level 1 stacking. I've progressed past level 0, which is nice, I guess, maybe. But I still haven't gotten a 200,000 points PB yet, and I didn't do it today, so. Tetris is really cool, though. I really love watching competitive NES Tetris, and I think it's really cool how your progress in that game is so incredibly granular. You can make such fine personal bests bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. It's just a naturally fun game to progress in and to grow in, because you can clearly see that represented in minute or large personal best point scores. So yeah, I did some gaming at the gaming convention. Agdq is fun. The practice room is fun. I love this environment, and playing games here feels good. One thing I definitely want to do before all of this is over is to set up Ruff City and say, does anybody want to try and get a co-op world record with me? Because the first recorded speedrun of that has not been done. So maybe me and someone like this guy could snipe a Ruff City co-op world record before all this is said and done. It could be any of us. You never know. It could be anyone.
Literally anyone.
But I'll be one of them, because it has to be that way. It had to be. It had to be. He's a talented man. I don't know the next line. He's still a talented man. How are you doing?
I'm great. I just finished volunteership at check-in desk. 4 hours. I checked in exactly 3 people.
Yes.
Because it's midweek, so it's like, it's an inverted bell curve. A lot of people show up at the start, and a lot of people actually show up on the Friday near the end because they just want to make a weekend out of seeing the finale, basically. So Wednesday lunchtime, I got in 4 solid hours of actual work.
Yeah.
While doing basically nothing except making sure that I was there. I walked 3 runners to show them the layout.
See? Excellent. And I'm sure those 3 runners really appreciated it.
Yeah, well, particularly Tonkatsu, who came from Japan.
Oh, nice.
He just arrived after 32 hours of travel.
Yeah.
Because there were no direct flights that he could take.
Oh, man.
His run's tomorrow morning. Yeah, and so I hope he sleeps.
Me too.
I hope he gets some rest. Bed, up, and destroy his run.
Yep. Yeah, I hope he can enjoy this event. Yep. Shoutouts to Tomkatsu.
Indeed.
I went to the setup of all of the Super Mario Bros. Setups. I did not get to 8-4. I got to World 8 before game overing and was hitting piranha jumps, which are way easier than I thought they were. They look so scary whenever you're watching Super Mario Brothers. When they jump over the piranhas just barely, it's way more forgiving than I thought. So that was fun. But then World 8 dominated me. But I also was recording a father and a daughter playing through and like looking at the monitor and seeing their progress and everything. That was fun. I did that for about 15 minutes. And then I got to see Yels beat the game.
I did it. I even hit the 2 frame.
Yeah, he got the wall jump. So that's very impressive. This is like you can sit down and try things that you were never intending to do at Agdq. It just, there are so many things that can pull you in unexpectedly. And this made me feel like if I tried to learn Super Mario Brothers, I might have a shot. So maybe someday I will. But I couldn't get through World 8 without any practice. So I still had a lot of fun.
After the Super Mario Brothers, Yels sat down to do some dragster.
Oh wow, yeah, Yelsberg showing me that I indeed was playing this strangely. Because I had never once come close to blowing the engine. Oh, look at you go! That's a 594.
Yeah, that's the second sub 6 I've ever gotten. I was walking past the machine this morning and there were 2 double 99s. I was like, oh, there should be something up here. And I was like, blown, first ever sub 6. I'm like,
this one was on camera.
This one was on camera. That's true. I only have a screenshot of my 591.
This is the best day ever.
Can I submit your vlog as my PB?
Yeah, you absolutely can.
Then I stopped recording, and immediately after came a bittersweet victory.
That's the one I wasn't recording.
That's okay.
I knew it. I knew you were gonna do it immediately. You get another PB.
That's so funny.
This is the worst day ever.
I made sure to keep my camera fixed on the screen after that.
Oh, baby. Yep, that's a PB.
581.
The day is looking up again.
Oh, baby. 581.
Right.
We're getting there.
That beats my time. That's a 594. No, 591. I'm gonna tell Ellipsis and he'd be like, "Oh God,
no, he's
coming for my time."
he has been. Ellipsis has been nothing but encouraging of me this whole time.
He's very good at this game.
Giving it up for the clutch. All right.
Oh my goodness.
You're looking for like 1 frame flicks, 2 frame flicks for your shifts.
So that's what Ellipsis told you?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say Ellipsis is any good at this game?
Yes, I would.
You would? Okay, good, because he's standing behind you now.
Yels is leveled up at this game. That's precious.
Hat guys forever. Hat guy. Okay, we were wondering if you wanted to do a pizza. I'll eat pizza later too. Okay. I just also.
Yes, another one.
Yo.
Yelsrake, who had only just gotten his first sub 6, was suddenly a sub 6 machine.
Yep. That's your time.
Eventually, the newcomer Ellipsis picked up the second controller, and the two of them went head to head.
I'm like the losing character in Smash.
Brother Slam.
I mean, I'm good. I think I got 584s.
Yeah.
I'm good. I mean, that's amazing. That's that's Dragster on a level that I am not ready to contend with. Yeah. But I'm good.
This has been a pretty sick day. There's so much happening in the practice room. We saw all that magic with Yels, with Dragster, and then Ellipsis just popping in and getting a 567, and L-Rock coming in and giving a peace sign. That's also some cool stuff happening in the practice room. And the Mega Man community is so tight-knit here, and they're setting up to do one of several possible ROM hack playthroughs together. And I have a great deal of fun watching that. So there's just so much going on. Just, if you're thinking about coming, you should try. This is becoming a feverishly long video, and there's probably something that has sold some people by now, and there's still so much more left to go. We're only halfway through the week.
It's only Wednesday, folks.
Yeah, it's only Wednesday.
He's running out of tape.
I am. I probably am.
You need another tape.
I probably am. Somebody give me another phone.
I have to run this for a 1 hour photo to get processed.
Yep. I am actually old enough to get that.
If you don't understand that joke, just get older.
How old do I look? Write it in the comments.
Way younger than us.
Yeah. Yeah. I shave. I'm very clean shaven.
What are you saying? I don't understand what you're talking about. I feel like that comment was directed at me for some reason.
Yeah, I noticed whenever you shave because you immediately look like a baby child.
I'll drink to that.
Another really nice thing that just happened was a couple of people asked me to sign their posters, their Agdq 2025 posters. L-Rock was one of them, and Alara was another friend of this group who I need to get to know better. Like so many people here, but I'm so shy. It might not seem like it, but I'm incredibly shy. But like whenever people just like approach me and start talking, then it's so easy. But I'm just I'm a shy person. Welcome to GDQ. But I'm fairly awkward, and so to have people approach me always feels nice. So thank you, guy next door. And
were we waving? I was just hydrating.
Guy next door also came up to me and like pulled me in for a picture, and that stuff is just always so sweet. It's just and I'm going to show up for this guy's run later. It's going to be at about almost 2 a.m. and I'm going to be super tired. But he showed up for my run, so I've got to show up for his, and it's going to be great. So we're going to be doing that later.
While the Mega Man crowd got going, a crew of retro gamers ventured out into the dark, freezing night in search of a taco place.
Tonight's dinner was a bit of a hike to get to, but I got to build my own burrito bowl, and I love customization, so that works for me. Good times. Came back from dinner, and the Mega Man 5 install medal race is not yet finished. Papat Dot is finished, which tracks because he tends to be the first one who finishes in all of these first-time playthrough races. But we still got plenty of runners still trucking along, still doing their best here, battling what looks to be a pretty tough game. Just simmering in the hours before Awful Block, and so might as well go check out the Super Mario. The Super Mario 64 A-Button Challenge, which I am immensely a huge fan of. So there's going to be a task showcase.
We're intentionally sitting toward the back so that Sag can use part of the tiny bit of hard drive space still available to show like a full room reaction.
I've recorded way too much, and we have several days to go. But yes, there's going to be much crowd in shot, so enjoy.
We are going to go. So that will be in. Is this will operate? And here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
This was a TAS showcase of Super Mario 64. TAS stands for Tool Assisted Speedrun. Basically, these are playthroughs that are computationally engineered to be as perfect as possible, using all sorts of different programs and tools. Popular games like Super Mario 64 have had some of the most attention put on them toward that perfection process. And beyond that, special challenges have captured the minds of many, which has led to deep scientific undertakings to make the impossible possible. Such as, is it possible to complete every single part of Super Mario 64 without using the A button, one of the core elements of playing the game at all?
Hit repeatedly and then kick off the round.
And after many years and unbelievable discoveries, the answer is shockingly, mostly, yes. After we witnessed some tool-assisted results of breaking Super Mario 64, I returned to the practice room to find ChessJerk unintentionally breaking another game.
I'm just gonna let all of you visualize how we got here, because I wasn't recording how we got here, so I'll leave that up to your imagination.
The savvy among you may see Woodman's stage and assume he was trying to do a zip, but no.
Mega Man is building a mountain.
This was a zipless, glitchless playthrough. He simply tried to use a weapon.
I'm screwed. I can't do anything.
That's a soft lock?
That's a soft lock. I have no way out.
And roll credits.
And as if responding to my voice, the game began cycling through different background graphics, including ones from different stages, all the way from the Wily stages.
He's up in the room, I believe. He went to get food and then went to the room.
I signaled guy next door to come over to see if he had any idea what was going on, and he didn't. Fittingly, even R. Combs from the Super Mario 64 TAS Showcase offered her input.
So this could be cartridge tilt.
Is it a practice round?
It's just the regular game.
ChessJerk's playthrough of Mega Man 2 came to a zany halt, which seemed appropriate as Agdq's awful block drew near. Slower than intended.
So, midnight 30 on, I guess, that's Thursday morning now, and awful block was supposed to have started already, but due to some complications in the marathon, things are very behind, so it's going to be an effort for everybody in the marathon going forward to get things back on track, and for the people doing the speedruns in the awful block, it's going to be interesting to keep themselves awake this far into the night, but this is not to disparage anybody at all involved with things running behind now. This is just what happens. This is a speedrunning charity marathon. These things are going to happen. I'm happy to stay up as late as I have to in order to support Jangle Storm and pay him back for being in the crowd for me. And this isn't to like prop myself up as this heroic, like, oh, he's such a good person, look at it, this is the standard that everyone should follow. I'm just doing it. Awful Block is awesome. It's an incredible tradition every year of celebrating awful games and how interesting they are. And let's go do that. Just a little bit. But I'm gonna bail after Jangle Storm's run. I'm sorry to everybody else throughout the night who's gonna be valiantly doing their part.
It's time for golf with your grandmother. I get it now. No.
Right.
5 holes, there's 20 holes in the game. I saw that, I was like, holy.
This Rex Run is special.
I don't know if I got this one. So what part of the body are you in right now?
Well, the one with the robot.
We've made it. It's just about time for Oscar. At 3:16 a.m. Let's go.
Hello, Awful Block. Good to be back here.
The Awful Block is one of the most popular and treasured traditions of GDQs. Agdq 2025's Awful Block was no exception to the amazing fun so synonymous with Awful Blocks. And Jangle Storm's run of Oscar was a lovely addition to the pile of really entertainingly bad games. Speaking of the great value hidden in bad games...
Welcome to Thursday. I got a little bit of sleep. Something that I've been doing throughout the week is checking out the live Cuso Grande tournament, which is a tournament of people coming in and competing in bad games. Very interesting games. Right now they're playing Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, the Taito version for the NES, and competing, just racing to see who can get through this first. And this is a thing that's run by Brosensha, and it's, I think, a really cool thing. My friends are really into it too, and it's cool to be able to just sit here and check this out.
As I imagined how my online friends would be enjoying Cuso Grande right now, I checked on my GDQ friends to see what they were up to. Of course, they were doing exactly what they wanted to be doing. Playing whatever games they felt like playing, and being present with each other all the while.
So obviously I spend most of my time in the practice room or the stream room, but there are many different places where people can hang out. There's a board game room that I don't usually play board games, but there are more than just board game activities that can happen in there. Like there's a poker tournament happening in there tonight. There's a room where people can practice musical instruments. I say this a lot throughout this video, but there's just so much to do, and I'm running out of time and space to be able to just convey that. After watching Yels yesterday, I'm gleaning the technique. It's time for sub 6, baby. It's my first time actually blowing the engine in 4th gear because I was doing it unintentionally safe before.
Now you gotta go for it.
Oh, man.
Almost immediately after I sat down, with Sharif watching behind me,
Yes! There's my first sub 6. Thank you. Nah, that feels good. And Sharif was watching too. Nice.
but I couldn't stop myself there. I was having too much fun, enjoying the process that has dragged so many of us into the addicting nature of video games. Making progress, seeing improvements, and wanting to try again, and again, and again, and again. And, if you're lucky, you end up with something you're satisfied with. Satisfied I was, and so I got up to enjoy the energy of everybody else's quests for satisfaction in all of their own projects, enveloped in the simple joy of playing a video game.
How about a little variety in the workout segments? Because I've been neglecting upper body and strength training in general for a very long time. This will be interesting.
And so, predictably, I shifted my own quest for satisfaction into a separate daily channel, pushing my body to the limit, asking myself for more than I have. I may not always achieve my goals, and sometimes I even downright fail. But when it comes to exercise, the process never feels in vain. Ironic, considering the ludicrous amount of vanity pulsing through my veins at every waking moment. That said, let it be known, you're going to be seeing some really bad examples of these exercises. Be warned. Just like everywhere else in life, I push myself way farther than I should in the gym. I have to learn when enough is enough. And for me, one of the most difficult avenues to practice that concept with is speedrunning. I become truly consumed by the process. The insistent demand of mind over matter from my brain to keep going until the thing is done. I have far too often stretched myself farther than I could manage emotionally, and I've had really bad moments in front of people on my streams. And I'm still struggling with all of that to this day, but part of me still truly believes that I can gradually figure that out. And if I can do that with River City Ransom, one of the most infuriating things in my entire life, who knows what sorts of things in life I can handle.
It was about as rough as I was expecting, except for that triceps pullback exercise. That was basically like I had never left it. Ascends the fact that I'm 10 pounds down on all of my weights from 10 years ago. Everything else broke down so fast and so hard, but not that exercise. So that's one silver lining. And I should be grateful for what I have in general, and I am. I'm grateful to be able to still do what I can still do. No, dude. But I've definitely regressed from where I was in the past, and that's tough to reconcile. It's tough to deal with, but that's part of life. It happens. The nice thing about that is that now I know that I have been able to get to higher heights before, and I can have the fun of reclaiming that strength. That would be nice to be able to do in my acrobatic tricking as well. But we'll see. I'm not going to put pressure on myself. I'm just glad that I went out of my comfort zone and did something that I haven't been doing for a long time today. That's kind of what events like this bring out of me. It makes me feel like I want to grow and want to challenge myself. And it might seem very unintuitive that I'm inspired to challenge myself physically at a speedrunning charity marathon, but that kind of motivational energy speaks in all languages, and that includes the languages of movement and activity and challenge. And I'm sorry, I'm shaking so hard trying to hold this camera up. I'm gonna be feeling this for a few days. I need to do this more. Also, you might not like hearing this, but coming from somebody who has reached fairly lofty heights as an acrobat and done so many different activities at a high level, trombone and art and fitness and golf and tennis and so many things, which I'm sure people can take with a grain of salt, that I reliably rate myself as having reached high heights with, and that's fair. But if my viewpoint means anything, speedrunning is one of the more challenging and more physically demanding things I've done, not from the standpoint of this is like super intense cardio where this requires such immense strength from a bodily standpoint, but it's so varied and so robust and so demanding, especially with certain games, and every single game is different and has different demands, and all those frame perfect inputs and the requirements of like how fast you have to process things and how fast you have to use your hands physically. It's intense. And speedrunning River City Ransom is absolutely one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, and one thing that I don't know if I can physically do is get world record in the main category for that game. But I've done so many things that have made me believe in myself, and those things can translate. And speedrunning can translate to things like this as well and make me inspired to work on my body and stuff. So that might not make any sense to a lot of people, but I'm not the most eloquent person ever, nor am I the smartest person ever. I just like to think about things sometimes and talk about it sometimes. This year there's a special PS1 tournament happening, and the top 3, I believe, finishers in these prelims stage will actually end up on the main stage of GDQ in an official segment for the marathon, and they'll battle it out for the championship there. And Yels is participating in this tournament. It's wild. There are so many games that people are competing in like these best of 3 races, and just yet again, another thing that you can do here. There's so much to do.
Yes! Oh, that was so close. Okay.
Yels did just lose his recent round, and he just barely missed out on a chance to play against Brosensha in the next round. So, all right, enjoy the poker. He doesn't feel too bad. He's going to play poker.
These are nail biters. Oh my goodness.
This PS1 mystery tournament was one such way that people could discover that they liked games they never would have found otherwise, just like Brosensha when it came to this game that he just played. While the Thursday portion of the PS1 mystery tournament finished up, I ventured to the board game room to see how the poker tournament was going. This was my first time that I had ever been in the board game room, which made it a great time to take a look around. Eventually, I wandered back to the practice room for a bit, where I found Janglestorm playing something that I thought looked cool.
Something inevitable about AGDQs and Games Done Quicks and any gaming event in general is coming across games you've never seen before and that you were never expecting, and that you were never expecting to be so immediately interested in. This is a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game for the Game Boy. The third game in the Game Boy series, now that I'm looking it up and figuring out what this is all about. This is my first time ever hearing of this, and it looks fun. Like, I want to play this. So you'll never know where you're going to look and find some game that, like, suddenly is the next thing that you want to play, and that could bring you a lot of joy. Add that to the list of things that's really cool about GDQs. It's just, I keep saying it over and over and over, but it just, that's the way it is, at least for me. So I got done doing some of my own gaming today as well, playing a bit more River City Ransom, doing some of the Downtown Neketsu Monogatari easy difficulty mode, because I was getting sick of the medium difficulty mode that is the novice difficulty mode in the Western versions, and that went a little bit better. And I tried Tetris again, but I just absolutely blow at Tetris. It is so opposing to how I operate. I'm just a brute forcer. I'm make character jump and try to do precise thing. Those are the things in life that I excel at a bit more, and I just talked about things that I've achieved a high level with when I was working out and stuff, but gaming and speedrunning have introduced me to new ways of thinking and bringing me way out of my comfort zone into trying things that I never would have tried, and being bad at things, and being interested in the process of being really bad at something, and finding out what that reveals about me, and learning from it, learning about life and about myself. And speedrunning also has turned me into somebody who puts on a lab coat and digs into a game to find every single time save possible, which is just so not how I operate. Again, I just tend to be a tackle and try to overpower things in life, but I have found time saves in games. I have labbed things out. I've been able to think outside the box a few times and improve games past where they were supposed to be able to go. And that's not something I thought I could ever do. It's funny how things that we're taught to be so inconsequential and so insignificant and so time-wasting can help us grow in ways that we could never expect.
I sat down for a little bit of Dragster as well, where I got a couple more sub-6s, but no new personal bests. My earlier 587 proved to be my final personal best of the event.
Another very neat thing, just sitting here in the practice room, is a setup where they have the TASes of Super Mario 64 that were showcased in the marathon, and also some additional things, I think as a result of the A button challenge, just playing constantly. So anybody can just sit down and watch some magic happen in a legendary game. I'm ludicrously interested in Super Mario 64 tassing, especially when it comes to the A button challenge, and I really appreciate that they're just setting this up, just putting a laptop out there with all this information for the nerdiest of people or the lay people to all appreciate. There's so much to appreciate here.
I once again left the practice room, letting it simmer in its magic, and went back to the board game room where the poker tournament was in its final stages. I may know nothing about poker, but I still found myself captivated as the final two battled it out.
Close to chorus. I don't know if you chat is ready. Are you all ready? Let the bass kick.
So now we enter the chorus and we see Blaze having to hit many quick alternating patterns with his fingers. So they also overlap a little, so players have to be careful not to literally run into their own hands. Yeah.
2 days remain, and today's a NESblock day, baby. I'm gonna do 2 shorter workouts today to keep my body moving. I'm really excited for today. Let's get going.
I ended up only doing one of the workouts because I just could not pry myself away from NESblock.
Also, I could not believe my ears when, during the rhythm game showcase last night, Burning Rangers freaking came on. I love that song. That was a really cool showcase. I wasn't expecting that this event. I didn't know what that game was, so that blew me away. It's time for NESblock again, baby.
Just kind of started by accident and then it quickly became something that you found really meant something to you.
So in a weird way, the pandemic sort of like really put it in stark relief, because we did this at Agdq 2020, and that was the last in-person before the pandemic knocked everything online for a while. And I know that even me, like, I'm not as active in speedrunning as I was prior to that, and I think that happened to a lot of people, but most of us still make the time to be here. And so when we are here, it's like, I got something I've been working on, something I've been tooling around with. Maybe you haven't been streaming it, you know, because I know I don't stream as much as I should anymore, but everybody always has something that they're like, I've been working on this, or like Dave has, like David TKI, he does Blaster Master every time, you know, and Yels always does marbles, right? So like we always have a handful of people that, like, this is their tradition for GDQ. We have people like Cypherin, who would he'd pick an impossible game. He's like, I'm gonna beat this, and he'd sit down in the first attempt, he wouldn't beat it, and he's like, all right, I'll be back, and I'm not gonna let it beat me, and then he would come back and eventually he'd beat it. And it's like little things like that you can't do in a regular marathon, because we're recording it ad hoc, and I'm like, I'll run it at a later date, so it's like, yeah, we can have weird stuff happen, because I can always kill it, delete the VOD, and start over, you know, like it's try to be flexible and, you know, like I said, everybody makes my job easy on this part, and they also forgive the any of the technical issues, which I appreciate. But yeah, I think that the pandemic sort of was like, this was a thing that we all really enjoyed, and we just let it kind of go away. And then when we went back to in-person, I was like, if nobody else wants to run this, I have the equipment to do it. I'm happy to do it. I'm not the owner or the originator or anything. At this point, I think the only thing that I'm willing to claim in regards to NESblock is I'm the executive producer of NESblock. I will take that title, right? The executive producer of NESblock. I handle all of this stuff. So like when names are misspelled, that's my fault. Be mad at me. But like the good stuff, the actual things that people want NESblock for the run, it's like all I'm doing is hitting record, you know, so it's easy. I love it. It's just a little community thing that we do, and it's a lot of fun to get sort of like a small mini marathon inside the big one. Exactly. You know, like it's our own little thing.
Thank you, Mad Mega.
I appreciate it. Thanks for letting me ramble for however long. Feel free to edit that into something cogent.
NESblock is in such high demand and so many people want to participate and show off games that there's now a queue forming, and I'm a part of it. I'm like fourth in line to try and play my games that I have today, and poor Mega had a late night as well as Yels rake last night, and so he's still just forging ahead and toughing it out and making all this happen, and everybody is so grateful for it. Everybody just has such an incredible time at NESblock, and thank you again, Mad Mega. And again, I can't say enough good things about this, and it deserves more attention than it gets, I think.
Of course, while that was going on, there was plenty to see in the practice room and beyond. One thing I accidentally happened upon was GT Ace casually getting to within 7/100ths of a second of the perfect dragster time.
Yeah, that looks incredibly close. GG.
Yeah, I don't know how I pulled that off.
Frozen Flygon absolutely killing it with Kaizo Super Mario World.
I'm honestly kind of mad. Why? Because it was a good one.
NESblock has slowed down a little bit because everybody wanted to go watch the Nintendo World Championships run, which is understandable, and that's already looking to be very exciting. But I'm still hanging out here with NESblock because I love NESblock a lot, and for now I'm going to hop on and host Mega.
But hopefully he will just stay here and take this beating for the second time, because that's what he deserves. There we go. Got it. And that's the game. So hold on, and time is now. As I guess I lost control. I think that's it.
This is good for balloons, but also very tough to get them. And I'm gonna go for this one. And I'm gonna go for this one. That's better. That's more balloon trip type gameplay.
My runs went okay for NESblock so far, and Mad Mega just did a great Who Framed Roger Rabbit run. Very funny, very awesome. And now people are starting to come back from Nintendo World Championships, so we'll see what NESblock still has in store. I wonder how much of this video, or videos, are going to be taken up purely by NESblock, but that's just how much I love it, and that's how much attention I think it deserves, so I'm going to do my part. We're getting to the point in the event where it's going by way too fast. We're getting into the later stages of Friday, and Saturday's the last full day, and Sunday's basically just the day where everybody leaves. So it's starting to sink in, it's starting to hit that we're coming in toward the finish line here, and you know, every single time it's at Pittsburgh, I feel so grateful just to have it right in my backyard, and every single time it happens, I'm wondering if it's going to be the last time, and so I'm trying to savor every single moment now of this event. It's tomorrow night. This room is going to be barren, and it's going to be quite a melancholy feeling. So right here, right now, I've got to savor this. Enjoy! Our fearless leader is going to keep himself alive with sustenance. So
because why would I?
They're putting me back in the hosting chair, which is dangerous. So many buttons to press.
I actually have to be careful about popping out.
I won't do it to CJ. Something I vocalized to my friends is something that you may be wondering with me spending so much time in NESblock. Like, should I really be spending so much time in this marathon where so much is happening in one place, doing one thing? And yeah, that's in my mind. Like, especially in these later stages when time feels like it's going by so fast and it feels like the end is coming so quickly. You do. It's easy to second guess your decisions and like if you're spending all of your time doing the right things, but try not to think of it that way, because you can always do that. You can second guess yourself about anything. You can always give yourself regrets. But during NESblock, I do get up and look around and look for other things to do here and there. But I always end up coming back to NESblock, and whenever there are days when NESblock isn't happening, I'm always looking forward to the next NESblock day. So I think this is just naturally a natural way to spend my time here, and it's not like I'm confined to my seat. I mean, I help out Mega every now and then with hosting, but even then the runs usually aren't that long, and then he's back and we switch it around and I switch it back to him, and then I can do whatever I want. It's just, this is whenever you find a place in the marathon that you genuinely want to be and that you find yourself gravitating toward, don't fight that. That's my advice, at least. And if you're the type of person who wants as much of a varied experience as possible at all times, then you'll probably naturally gravitate toward that as well. But I find myself just spending a lot of time at NESblock because I want to. And yeah, it hurts that the event ends, but all things do. And I feel pretty, like, especially my first year at Agdq last year, I felt like every single moment I spent at the marathon was perfect. And now that it's my second go around, it's like, should I be changing things up? But I love it here. I love helping out and hanging out at NESblock, and I love just watching everybody else do what they want to do and hang out in their ways. And I feel like that's part of the beauty of all of this, is that a lot of us just end up where we're supposed to be. And that's kind of a weird way to say it, but you probably know what I mean. So be kind to yourself and just have a good time, see? Sharif in with the Barbie. This NESblock has just gone up a notch. Let's do this.
That's a fun little twist on the game. But yeah, time starts when I click out of this, so we'll just start in 3, 2, 1.
Another thing of note, so do I have advice about approaching people that you know online or streamers that you follow and you've been in their chats and stuff? Like, how do you approach those people? That's a tough one for me to really figure out for myself. There are a lot of people that I see at these events that I feel like I want to approach and I want to develop a connection with, but I'm worried that I am going to be a burden, that I'm overstepping parasocial lines, that, you know, that they're not really looking to have interactions with fans or something like that. And I don't have a great answer. That's one thing that I'm really working on, that I'm looking to find answers with. And you do have cheat codes sometimes. If you know certain people who know those people, and they go up to them and they have conversations, like, that's a way for you to, like, have an in. And as long as you use that responsibly, I'm not going to sit here and like go off on a 90-minute dissertation on how to be a decent person, because Lord knows that every single day I'm trying to be one myself, and you never know if you actually succeed. But this is probably something that is different from person to person as well. You'll have your own answer, and Like, there are people that I regret not talking to at this event and the last one, and that will probably continue to be the case. Like this event, I meant to go up to Brosensha and talk about how some of my close friends are really into his streams and the whole message of Kuso Grande and everything. And I've been meaning to go up to Gymnast, the Legend of Zelda speedrunner, and like congratulate him for his Wind Waker world record in 2014, the one that I was featured in a Speed Docs video because I celebrated his world record by doing a bunch of flips because, you know, Gymnast flips. And like connect with him about that, and you know, that would probably be fine, but I'm just so nervous about it. I have a crap ton of social anxiety and anxiety in general, and I'm just so afraid of so many things. I'm afraid that I'm a burden, and that's something that I have to work on because my enjoyment of these events will probably skyrocket if I can reliably and responsibly work past those things and develop more connections like that. I've been reticent about approaching the hosts and introducing myself as well, and I think I can hazard a guess as to what they would say about me. Like, if they saw this and they saw that I'm scared to approach them, they would probably say, absolutely, please come say hi. I bet that they enjoy being appreciated and they're looking to have interactions like that at an event where that's the point, as long as we respect their time, as long as you respect all the people in here as people and you treat them how they want to be treated, as long as you act decently and you're respectful to them, things will probably go well. And a lot of people probably won't be upset with you introducing yourself and at least just like breaking the ice. But again, that's completely different from person to person, and if you can read a room, you can probably tell which people aren't looking to engage with others at this time or are just more shy, aren't as talkative. And socializing can be incredibly tough. All of those things can be incredibly tough to read for some people more than others. And this is a place where I think it's more likely for people to understand that so many of us have had those struggles. So that's not quite advice as much as it is just my standpoint and the way that I'm working with it. If that's information that you can work with yourself, then I'd be glad for that. If anything in this video or these videos is helpful or entertaining, and I say this with most things I do, but especially now if I'm making like a huge vlog about what it's like to be at a GDQ, if this helps you, I'm overjoyed. And thank you for watching this far. We've got a little bit left in this marathon, and if you stick with me to the end, then I hope I have some good things to show.
We finished Contra.
Tetris play on the invisible credits roll was really something. Now the Mega Man crew has rolled in and they're going to be doing some races in all the classic Mega Man games for the rest of NESblock, basically. And that's a heck of a way to send it off, I think. I love seeing the Mega Man folks come through and do their things unrelated to NESblock, and when it comes into NESblock, I think it just makes it that much better. There's one pretty major place that I've been forgetting to talk about this entire time because I haven't gone there, but Chesterk has spent a lot of time here.
GDQ.
As the evening hours took hold, I returned to the practice room to find NESblock, of course, still going strong, with Guy Next Door doing a Buster-only speedrun of Mega Man 4, unforgiving and entertaining. As Guy Next Door trucked along, a new group approached NESblock, including someone I did not expect.
So as it turns out, I did actually run into Brosencha and got up the courage to introduce myself. And so Kuso Grande is a very well-known thing by this point. It's a lot of people participate in it. How did it start? Like, what does it mean to you? And how, like, what is Kuso Grande to Brosencha?
So we're nearing the 10-year anniversary up in October or August. I don't even remember what month it is. The reason I started it was because I was sitting around and I was like, I like the idea of mystery tournament, but what if it was just bad games? And then about 15 minutes later, I put a form out online. It was about that much planning, and now it's been the last 9 years of my life. So that really, like, the origins of it, nothing fancy. It was just spur of the moment, throw something together to do for fun. But like, when it comes to bad games, there's especially the ones that I really care about, you know, they've got something interesting. There's some nugget of gold hidden deep beneath them. I think the worst fate that a game can have is to be mediocre and to be forgettable. But if you have a game that has something new, something different, even if it's not well executed, even if players are like, that is a problem, they're going to remember it. And odds are somebody can come along and take that idea, put it into a new game, and really perfect it to something amazing.
That's such a great point.
Yeah, every game dev needs to play bad games because they might find something amazing out of them. Yes. Oh, everybody, that is going to decide it. Going to offer blues.
And now we've got a Strider 2-player 1-controller speedrun happening. That's gonna, as Elrock says, we're about to do something stupid.
Any two can strike.
Two-player 1-controller speedruns are a wild spin on the speedrunning formula, often entailing one player putting one hand on the left side of the controller, with the other player putting their hand on the right side, and operating each half of the controller respectively. Here it was being attempted with Strider, an especially mimetic game with precise and gigantic skips.
Eventually, it will be faster to actually play the game.
3, 2, 1. In this format, the skips were a big ask.
2, 1, go!
But Ellipsis and Elrock knew, just because you shouldn't doesn't mean you can't.
Okay, it's gonna be tricky. I want to go to a different continent. Okay, thanks. Are we ready? Try it. Okay, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, knees. All right, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh my God. I think that's it. I think that's it, right? Yeah, press right.
Instantaneous.
No one else had ever been foolhardy enough to even attempt this before, but here Ellipsis and Elrock were.
Yes. We're gonna end this.
On pace to shatter all expectations.
That's it.
Oh my God, time's gonna be.
This could be something. Tell us the subbing. Time's on the cutscene.
Holy crap! That was awesome! Welcome to NESblock! NESblock. Do you like what you see? I hope so. If you don't, I don't know what we have to offer you that you could possibly like.
That was awesome. Here, let me move this.
Oh man.
Let's see our runners here. What a ride.
That is gamer.
That's
a submission video right there.
That's a yes. Thank you, NES Dude, how could I say no when you offer me 2 P1C Strider? It's like, you're like, hey, so it's...
No one was deterred from following up such a strong act, and NESblock galloped onward, with Ryan Ford providing a very strong speedrun of Little Samson.
There you go, Ryan. Let's go.
Yeah, good run.
Then it was Brosentia's turn, embodying another part of the spirit of NESblock, coming in with Athena.
Hello, hey, I'm Brosentia, and I'm making a mistake today.
One of his beloved bad games that he had no intention of being able to get through. Brosentia was inflicting this game upon NESblock.
Athena is a video game about how I ruined my life.
When you swing your weapon, you get some sort of iframe. I think that is GG, man. I'm done with this crap, okay? Never play Athena, especially after 7 years.
That was great.
As the hour grew later, the NESblock queue closed. And just like that, we were upon the final NESblock runs of Agdq 2025. The penultimate run of the event was a Mega Man 5 race between Papatot and Phoenix Ignition. Phoenix Ignition participated in all of the Mega Man races this NESblock.
So talking with Brosentia and his friends was freaking incredible. That definitely made my day. But NESblock already had. This has been a good day, and I'm gonna hop in and end it off because Mad Mega himself is gonna be a part of the grand finale. With Yels Rake. So I'm excited to watch that and help tie a bow on NESblock for another season, not another year, another season.
Jay and Silent Bob Mall Brawl is a 2020 game based on the Jay and Silent Bob IP, and one of the platforms it was released for was the NES. Mega and Yelsrake used it to close out another great NESblock.
I do love how this ends. Alright, I think that was a successful NESblock. We have a lot of content. There's a lot there. I'm really excited.
And that's a wrap for NESblock at Agdq 2025. Thank you so much to everybody who participated. It was a blast watching everybody. It was a blast participating, and it was awesome to be able to help out a little bit. And Agdq 2025 continues for one more day after this. I'm not ready for it to end, but you never are whenever you're into something this much, and it just feels this good. But to get to experience it with all of these people is a treat, and again, I'm going to savor every single moment left. And it never ends, actually. These friendships persist. Whenever you meet people at these events, the great part is that when you go home, they're still there a few clicks away or a few presses of some keys away. That lasts a lot longer than just the event, and that's really incredible. I can't express just how much that means. So I need some food.
Thank you. And
real quick.
Yes.
What's a trouser snake? You can cut. It's good.
It's time for the final day. Let's head down to the practice room and see what's going on, and see if it's already a little bit depressing with things being torn down. Teardown hasn't really started yet, but we're about to go get some food, and I imagine when we come back, it's going to have begun. So let's take one last look at a full, somewhat vibrant practice room.
7th day, but it's like 2 in the afternoon. It doesn't feel like it.
I thought the exact same thing.
The practice room, it's kind of like Vegas, if you've ever been to Vegas. You know, the folks that aren't of the gambling ilk, they intentionally don't put clocks on the walls. Everything's really brightly lit. You can't see outside, so you have no idea whether it's daytime or nighttime. And the practice room has that vibe, but without all the punishing pressure of losing money. You're just too busy having fun, and then before you know it, it's midnight. But it's still the best place to be on site. Practice room hype, practice room gang, forever.
A toast to GDQ.
There is always so much to celebrate about events like this, even after the events end. But this event wasn't over yet, and plenty of people were celebrating in all sorts of ways throughout the venue and around.
Thank you.
After lunch, we returned to the room to witness the end of the Elden Ring DLC Lockout Bingo, where we then celebrated Agdq's incredible performance.
Okay, he's good. There it is! Wow! Dude, holy sh**, that was so clean, dude. Wow, what a fight. God Gamer Agdq. Jesus. Wow. I spent days on that. I would go to work and I would be working, but you know what I was doing? I was fighting that guy in my brain. And I'd go home, and you know what I would do? He'd beat the out of me for 4 hours. And I'd go to sleep, and I'd do it all again. And Agdq was just like, what?
Day 7.
Unbelievable.
That is Agdq Day 7 gaming right there.
In the zestful moments following Agdq and Captain Domo's run, a highly anticipated bonus incentive was met.
Like them talking about it. There it is.
The Elden Ring Saxophone Boss Showcase.
Oh, yeah. The power of GDQ.
Look at that.
1.7 million.
And a couple hours to go, and they are the biggest hours as always.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It'll be another good year.
It will be.
Shortly after, we ventured downstairs to witness that Saxophone Boss showcase in a music block, which ended up championing some of the most electrified hours of the entire event.
Here to check out the music block now. Gonna see Dr. Dude beat some Elden Ring bosses with nothing but a saxophone. And probably some technology. And then... Saxophone. And then Crazy Taxi with a backing track band. So...
How to get around DMCA in 2025? Just have a band play the soundtrack.
First, Dr. Dude came on to beat up a bunch of Elden Ring bosses using only an aerophone that was hooked up as a controller.
Composure, staying calm throughout all of this, it's an amazing sight to witness. Bosses getting chunked with Dude sounds in the background.
Dr. Dude destroyed a murderer's row of bosses to the ominous sounds of synthesized dudes!
Listen, sometimes... Again, just abusing that poise. Absolutely non-existent. We should have maybe 2 more hits here. Oh!
It was time.
This may only be my second live GDQ, but this is definitely the most full I've ever seen, the streaming room. What about you?
Definitely. Definitely up there. Particularly up at the front there.
Yeah, because there are like 200 people just standing in the front. And I wonder if we're all going to be standing by the... Well, we're probably going to be giving this a standing ovation anyway, but there's just... this is the most excitement I've seen in the stream room. And I've been there for the finale of the last event, which was electric, and I had no idea what to expect from the energy levels that we're about to see here.
I was not prepared. This was the most unexpected experience of Agdq 2025 for me personally. This is not a run I would have chosen to go to myself. I ended up here because I wanted to hang out with the guys. To that end, sometimes you end up doing things that you wouldn't do if it was just your choice. And that can end up leading you to some of your favorite experiences of these events.
I'm into this.
As I've said before, one of my most practiced activities in my life has been trombone performance. I grew up a band nerd. But that's the thing. When I think of band, I don't tend to think of a band like this. I tend to think of a wind ensemble concert or a Bands of America marching band competition.
He's nailing it.
I've rarely had this experience. One of my only times I can remember was when I went to support my friend Tony, who was a bassist for a local band named Call Your Shot. And I loved the experiences of supporting those local bands and discovering new music that I really liked. This was something entirely new from that mold. This was an indescribable energy. Superconducting through the venue. And this was when I really fully got the other type of band, the non-nerdy type of band. In an environment this expansive and this crowded, the power was irresistible.
clapping in time. I can't believe it. You know what? Yeah, speedrunners can clap pretty perfectly. Right.
So this is what Rockstar Mania is all about. This is the allure. Not every single note has to be pitch perfect. Not every single beat has to be perfectly in time. It's that raw, explosive exuberance that hits your bloodstream. Yeah. I'm glad I was here for this. I hardly had time to process it though, because the practice room was in its final hours, and I did have a willing participant for Ruff City co-op speedruns.
Pretend that our gameplay is good and pretend that we're funny. So we're gonna do our first like buttoned up-ish speedrun of Ruff City 2-player now that we've seen the game once. Yeah, button check is done. Sound check is done. The dogs are still going. So the game is working as intended. Off we go.
Yels, Rake, and I got to work.
Yes, that gets you through the horsies. I did. Okay, so that plug activated the infinite weapon glitch. I'm gonna roll with this. I'm gonna make it a full any percent run. Go for it. So I'm gonna really try and not get knocked down, especially against Pugma. So now she can get stuck again. Perfect. Oh, very well done.
There will be.
Yels Rake was getting the hang of the controls extremely quickly, and we swiftly developed speedy strategies on the fly.
Yes, very nice. I'm gonna try and get the infinite weapon glitch here.
For a first serious run of this game co-op, things were looking pretty darn good. There were no major mishaps.
Let's go, baby.
And I had the use of 2 infinite weapon glitches to speed things up. Only 1 level to go.
Yep.
Oh, he's stuck? Can we even do anything about that guy?
Oh my god, no way. Oh my god, no way.
All the glitchers, except for the infinite weapon glitch, are quite minor and not game-breaking at all.
I think that's a soft lock. It's a good run. That was a good run. That's a good thing that didn't happen on GDQ, huh? I've seen them get stuck a little bit before, but not like that. That's the one thing that I was worried about more than anything that I haven't seen yet that could happen. That was a good run, people. Yeah. It is really a miracle that didn't happen on stage. It's a miracle it hasn't happened to me in any other run, but it's really a shame it happened during that one.
While the loss of that nice first run stung me personally, we didn't let it deter us much, and we dove right back in, playing well into the mid-game.
When they're on the ground, you can just use your...
Yeah, I can go back to the combo, yeah.
This is a really good... That was an incredible scene. Well done. That was super fast. I may be a layperson for 2-player yet, but that seemed pretty fast. That seemed about as good as you could possibly do.
Quite minor and not game-breaking at all.
What in God's name? Just the most delayed spawns of all time?
Not game-breaking at all.
This has happened to me before. This is also a soft lock. This is... I don't understand, man.
I don't think you're actually able to finish a 2-player run of this game.
That time, a glitch occurred that stopped the enemies from spawning in, disallowing us from completing the stage. A glitch I had only ever seen once before, in many hundreds of playthroughs. Glitches had ended 2 of our speedruns in a row. These were very unlikely circumstances, and surely we just had to keep trying. So we did.
Good. And now we can just go. What does the gate? What does the gate say for us? Oh my goodness! It's the most blessed run of all time. I never thought I could feel something like that in my heart. Kitty got stuck. What else is new? Nice. I don't. Oh! We found a new soft lock. What is going on? We can't finish a run. A bird got stuck behind there. Yep. This is unreal. We're finding so many new ways to break the game.
All the glitches are quite minor and not game-breaking at all.
You can't do it because I'm not on the ground. I'm in the air forever.
3 different kinds of gameplay-breaking glitches in a row.
We just need to keep trying. Just need to finish one run without getting one of the different soft locks. The many and varied soft locks. I'll feel accomplished when we finish a single run at this point.
This game genuinely does not break nearly this often. At least, not on other days. We just could not catch a break.
Well, that's a shame. I still love this game, but it's just, we're getting unbelievable. Like, they just keep happening to us right now.
We just happen to keep accidentally falling into every single precise way to not be able to play the game. And the clock read 8 o'clock p.m. The closing hour of the practice room at Agdq 2025.
We will continue this soon, I guess.
After both of us had anticipated easy game completions and a simple process of getting a few completed runs to improve, we now planned to move to another location, still searching for our first completed speedrun.
Oh, right. Well, it's happening. The practice room is going down, and we're going down with it, baby, because we're doing some Ruff City co-op attempts. We finished our first casual playthrough together, apparently by incredible luck, because now we're soft locking every single time. Because we're finding every single way that the game breaks very badly. And at least I'm finding footage to send to the developers to see if we can get some stuff fixed, I guess. And we're having fun. We're playing video games and having a good time together and getting footage that I can, like, stream at a later date. But...
It's not over until we decide it is.
Yeah!
Because when the going gets tough,
we play video games.
Tough, get going. Now who's with me?
We're back. We're back. Practice room isn't closing at 8. Oh, we need to plug our controllers back in. Working!
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
And she didn't get stuck herself on, like, in midair. Very nice. That was fast.
It's your boy, Dick Tracy.
Dick, Tracy, Dick.
Great, perfect.
Yes. You would probably soft lock the game in a new way if it had actually been frame perfect. Yeah, I thought he was close to dead there.
Not nearly as clean as the last 2 times.
Still going for a good ending here. Nice. Yeah, we brought it back. All right. Please, people spawn, actually, and not getting soft locked, please.
The game is immensely more difficult in the 2-player mode, spawning a lot more enemies, especially the ones that have been specifically strengthened in the 2-player mode.
Nice. Pressing super doesn't super. Yep, yeah, sometimes your inputs get eaten by this game. Okay, can we make it past this room? Can we please? The unluckies are hard enough as it is. If we don't get unlucky with getting soft locked. Okay, that dog is stuck in the place where I think if I knocked him into the air, he would actually get soft locked. Have you considered dying instead? Simply die. And the gates say, oh, well, that means this run's gonna finish. Yeah. It doesn't bring soft lock. Yeah, it hates the fact that it's not gonna soft lock us this time. Nice. I knocked him down just for you. Oh no, a weapon just got caught in the elevator. We're still fine. Hey, actually, it stayed in. It didn't get deleted. Maybe you can come with me. I have plans for you. Something like a game back. Get it? Because the elevator game. That's better than I thought it was when you first said it. I will say that. Okay, now this run really has to finish because that was just said.
This time, we made it all the way to the final boss. Could we finish it out?
Yes, okay. All right, let's do this. Well, that's okay. Okay, well, there's a first. He's out of sequence now. Yep, he went out of sequence. Let's take a death. Thank you. Damn it. Thank you. Huh? Nice. Okay, time. And we didn't soft lock. Somehow. Impossible. You didn't soft lock. Fine, you can have this, I guess. You've somehow made it here.
In the end, our first finished speedrun was a pretty solid affair. A sub 17-minute run without the use of a weapon glitch.
Nice! That seemed respectable.
And as the World 9 gaming crew continued to allow us to sit down and do our thing, we jumped in one more time to see if we could do it again with me activating a few weapon glitches. I got the infinite weapon glitch in the first stage and in the second half of the third stage, which are the two major instances I need to be able to use weapons infinitely against the bosses. Once again, we made it to the end without any soft locks, but one other problem arose.
I'm sorry to do this, but I really gotta pull that. Oh, can you give us like 2 minutes? Yeah, we're at the final boss here.
We were well and truly out of time.
Yeah, I feel like we just saved the cycle there, and now... I love... Oh, that was the coolest spinning maneuver of all time by 2 people. Why did I do that? Okay, because he was almost dead. Let's go. All right, we got 2 weapon glitches. Well, did we get 3? And it wasn't a perfect run, but it's a good proof of concept. With 2-player co-op with the weapon glitch, Ruff City, Lucky got the ball back. For some reason, nobody cares about the second person who did so much work. Not lucky. Yeah, not unlucky. Not lucky.
They are literally going to pull the plug on everything on this table. So we have to go. This is the end of the practice room for Agdq 2025. But we finished.
We did it. We did not soft lock. Unbelievable. Can you believe it?
We did an 80% run and a glitchless run.
Thank you so much.
Good. You can pull the plug.
Let me stop the recording first and make sure everything's fine. Thank you, Yels. Thank you so much. It's always a delight to do all this with you.
Absolutely.
As it turns out, we were not the last ones standing.
Thanks to the graciousness of the World 9 gaming crew, we were able to achieve our goals as the practice room closed its doors.
Oh yeah, come on, 2 million, 2 million, 2 million, it's coming.
2 million?
So my camera glitched right after the donation tracker hit 2 million, and so I missed the stream celebration in the stream room, and that's frustrating, but it was another unbelievable moment. It was magical when it happened last year, it was magical when it happened this year, and I guess if you really want to experience that joy in all of its glory, then you just have to be here, and that might be really frustrating to hear as somebody who literally does not have the means to go, who wants to go, and I apologize for that if that's the case. But hopefully, if you're in that position, that can change for you. I deeply wish for anybody who really, really wants to be here to be able to at some point. And that's not helpful, but it's just how I feel. I like this a lot. And it's always sad when it ends, but it always ends with a bang. It centralizes all of its pressure and all of its power into the stream room in the final moments, and that's quite a sight to behold. It's 9 o'clock on the final day, 9 o'clock p.m., just a few hours remain, and this is my first time of this entire event that I feel genuinely torn. I don't know what to do, I don't know what I want, and I think part of that is just because it feels like it's being taken away, and I feel like I want to enjoy the last moments in the environment where everybody else is, but I'm also incredibly drained. And I didn't get my workout in today, so that might, I might be experiencing a bit of a drop from no endorphins, but I guess it's sinking in, and it's a sinking feeling. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to do with these last few hours, and I kind of want to just go up to the room and rest, but that doesn't feel right. It feels like I'd be wasting something. And that's the type of thought that just seeps into your brain that is unhelpful, and I would encourage you to fight it, I think. Like, I probably should, but it's a tough thing to fight. Because part of you, deep down feels like there's truth to that. I think I'll figure it out, we'll see. I have different options, and none of them are genuinely bad ones. But time is still just moving the entire time. The event is just coming closer and closer to its end. And it's a sinking feeling.
For a while, there's 100 miles left to go. 100 miles left to go. I'm running out of time.
I didn't feel this as much last year. Like, I haven't done enough. Like, I didn't take this one by the horns and go out and get every single moment, even though I know I did. I know that this is just the feeling of losing something. This is what they call post-con depression. And for me, it hits a little bit early, I guess, because I don't like watching things in the process of ending. I don't like watching the life leave something. I don't have to think about it that way. That's just the way I'm framing it. I don't know how to stop that, though. I don't know how to work on that. But some things end and then get the chance to start again. And this is one of those things. This is one of those things that will start again at least twice a year, and then the life gets to burst from every corner of every room again. And it's almost more special that way, because every time it ends, it makes the next one that much more special.
I've been running out of time. There's 100 miles left to go. 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh. I've been walking for a while. Oh, oh. Oh, oh. I've been running out of time.
I was getting one last shot of the practice room in the middle of teardown. Then one of them saw me and told me basically, in not as many words, to get the F out if I wasn't a part of Teardown, which is understandable. It kind of got me at least willing to talk about how low I'm feeling right now, which I wasn't expecting.
Before this goes any farther, I'd like to offer a warning that there is going to be a little dive into a mental health low, laced mostly with my first major experience with post-con depression. I've been in a lot of events like this before, but normally toward the end of the event, I'm either ready to take a rest, to be able to take time to process everything that happened, or it was just all so positive that I'm just washed over by the afterglow, by just the pure positive sensations. This time was different, and I wasn't prepared for it. And I also was not prepared for the interaction that I had with the World 9 Gaming staff member. And once again, before that goes any farther, I would like to state my opinion on the matter, which is, I don't really fault them. I was standing at the doorway of the practice room with my camera up, and what they exactly said when they saw me was, if you're not a part of the Teardown crew, you can be doing that somewhere else. And they did not look or sound very pleased, and so I took a hint and I put my tail between my legs and left immediately. And I also felt like a steaming pile of crap about it. And it was just bad timing. I already happened to be experiencing a depressive low at the time, and it happened to be the thing to say to me with what I was feeling about my life at the time. That happened to hit me in the center of my heart. But did that person know that? No. Was I a part of Teardown crew? No. Was it at the end of a long week where this person is a part of a crew that is doing constant thankless work the entire time and probably being ignored by most people and has been probably stressed out and overworked throughout the entire week, and they're missing the end of the event all the while? Yes. Would I be easily agitated if I were in that situation? Yeah. That's my take on it. And when I ended up talking about my feelings that are going to be coming up here, it was not supposed to be in response to that interaction, in response to that person. It just happened to be the interaction that made me feel like I wanted to talk about how I was feeling. And as you can probably tell, I'm doing mostly okay now. I'm doing about as well as I can do. I've struggled with major depressive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder and bipolar disorder and OCD and ADHD, just about every letter that you can think of for my entire life, and only been diagnosed with those things and treated for some of that time. So I've, at this point in my life, had a lot of experiences, a lot of episodes, and I've gotten experience from those events, and I'm still here. And it doesn't feel right to me in such a large form video presentation like this one that is supposed to be uplifting and empowering for me to just let fly a long depressed ramble where I don't give context about things and I don't show you the light at the end of the tunnel. I don't show you what it looks like on the other side of that low. And look, even for people not like me who don't have every single letter of the alphabet coming out of their brain, even for so-called neurotypical people, post-con depression is a real thing that happens to just about everybody, and it can be intense. And if I'm going to show you my experience with it, I also want to give you some insight on coming out of it. So be warned, even though this is a fairly tame low as far as I am concerned, and I'm not going to be showing all of it, it's still going to be a huge shift in tone from the way everything has been leading up to this. It may be uncomfortable, and if you're not here for this at all, I'm going to show you where you can skip to, where you can just miss it entirely. Right about here. For the rest of you, who I hope I've adequately prepared, here's a look at my experience with post-con depression. Here's a look at part of my experience as a runner at Agdq 2025.
I guess that really brought to the surface how I feel about myself, because it felt in a way like somebody was finally telling me straight to my face what I actually mean, that I am just a burden. And I apologize if this is sudden, if this is out of nowhere, and if this is uncomfortable. But for people like me, for emotional and mentally turbulent people like me, this is the sort of direction that the brain can go in. And once this is all over, even after I got my 15 minutes of fame and I'm out of my element again and I'm not with like people that are so seemingly my people, I go right back to my life where I'm a 30-year-old emphatic burnout who's only holding a one-day-a-week job supported by his parents, who was a gifted kid who didn't turn into anything. And this is one of the only weeks out of the year where I get to feel like I mean something, that I actually contribute something.
There's a little bit to unpack there, and I don't even know where to start, and I don't think I'm gonna do very much. Let's try and condense a lot of this into just saying a lot of that condemning was purely internal. That's how I view myself when I'm not being kind to myself. That's not always how I see myself. That is a bit of a running thing, though. But to be real, I am also aware and realistic about the fact that the majority of people in this industrialist society would probably see me that way if they knew of my entire life situation. I am not, to this point, a successful participant in society at all. But more importantly, I am nowhere near satisfied with what I am doing with my life, because I have so much faith in myself and my abilities, and yet I'm a 30-year-old mostly broke dude living on his parents' property. I didn't do myself any favors by expecting that I would be rich and famous at a very young age. Let's leave that as the context for this moment in this low. When this event is over, I'm going to go back to a life where I am nothing. And I'm sure that even a lot of people that are not in a situation as extreme as mine, they'll still encounter the difficulty of leaving an environment like this where they feel in such harmony, where they're able to just celebrate all the things they want to celebrate all the time, every day, and now they have to go back to a life that is a lot less dreamy, a short, abrupt drop back to stark reality. I think the most I can say about that is you're not alone, and these things will be here again. This is not the last time this will happen. And if good fortune will have it, then you will be able to look forward to doing this all again, and that makes it all the more special, like I've said. So much of life, by nature, is tedium and inaction, and not doing the things that you want to be doing, and not being around the people that you want to be around. That's why it's an incredible gift to be able to have those things at all, and why it's great to be able to appreciate them while they're around. If something like this is ending and you're being hit really hard by that, in a way, that's a damn good thing, because you found something that means this much to you and that you are appreciating this much, that it hurts so much to leave. Like most pain, it's a pain I wouldn't wish on people, and I wish you wouldn't be going through right now, but it means that you're living, and it means that you found things in life that are worth living for. Hold on to that, and I believe you'll be able to get by so that you can have access to these things again.
But being a thorn in that worker's back just now made it feel like every single thing that I've been doing this entire week was a failure. And who's even gonna watch this video anyway? And even if they do, like, if I put this in, does that ruin the entire thing? I want to make several things abundantly clear. This was not shared in the intent to create anger toward anybody who works on these events, because those people are under so much freaking stress and pressure at all times during the week, and anybody deemed to be getting in the way is probably incredibly irritating. Please don't go after anybody. If this video gets any views, it just happens. This sort of thing just happens. It's just, that's the thing that got me willing to open up about this part of being a runner at GDQ, of the profound sadness that I'm feeling. And it was just bad luck. I was the wrong person at the wrong time. Not everything that happens at a good event is good. And I want to make it clear that this was still a good event for me, and this didn't ruin the event. I mean, I'm gonna be having to work really hard to not be hit too hard by that last encounter, but that's just who I am. That's just something I struggle with at all times in life. It's nice when I get to kind of convey that in ways that are entertaining or wholesome or uplifting, but that's not always the way it goes. Whenever you burn this hot, sometimes you burn out, and sometimes you explode. But I really don't want people to think less of the incredible people that are working so hard day in, day out, day and night to make this unbelievable thing possible, and things like this all the time, all over the place. But I definitely was keenly feeling, before that happened, all of those exact thoughts of like, man, I'm just making this video so I can pretend that I mean something, so I can pretend like I have any value, that I add anything to anything. How I deal with it is up to me, and I don't have a great track record, but I mean, the future is not the past. I can do better with this if I work hard at it. What if I just did better? What if I stood up to this in my brain? And I doubt that person meant it out of pure spite. I doubt that person meant that they hated me, that I am truly being a bad person by standing there with my camera up at that place at that time. That's just how it felt. That ball's in my court. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they really did see that and genuinely detest me. Okay. I can choose to be haunted by that to my grave. I know from my past that that's the way things tend to go with me, without me doing it intentionally, but I can choose to fight that. And I guess if I choose to put this out there, that's me kind of holding myself accountable.
I got over it. So many of us out there have dealt with depression, are currently dealing with depression, this strange and elusive and smoke and mirrors thing that so many people don't really want to understand. And it's impossible to convey just how debilitating it really is. And small warning here, I've had a lot of moments in my life that I did not want to make it through, because I didn't see any point to a life where depression seemed to be the main exponent that was always going to be around, that was always going to be commanding every moment of my life. I never thought it was going to get better. There was just no logic, there was no evidence that pointed to things getting better. But here we are, less than a month after Agdq 2025 has ended, and I had that interaction with that World 9 Gaming member, and that is the sort of thing that normally would haunt me, and I would be torturing myself with. And I got over it in about a day. These last 8 months, I've kind of changed, and things don't really sink as deep as they used to. And things don't hit as hard as they used to. And I can't fully explain why. I can cite certain medication combinations and aging, I don't know, it's just impossible to truly say for sure. I wish I could for those of you who are begging for answers. The only thing that I can truly say is that I just kept living. Despite the fact I had no idea if anything was going to improve at all. And because I kept living, one of the possible options of things that could happen was things could get better. And on that front, that seems to have happened. I'm still an unbelievable mess. And so is the world. And that's one of the things that is really hard for me to deal with as just an absurd people pleaser who is so passionate about the happiness of every single living being on the planet. But inexplicably, I kept living, and inexplicably, some things are just feeling easier now. In a really complicated life, sometimes the only simple thing you have left is just to continue to exist, to continue to survive, and sometimes that's way harder than it ever should be. But compared to zero, absolutely any positive value in existence is infinitely greater than zero. It is literally infinity compared to zero. And as long as you stay alive, there is infinitely more good that is possible for you than if you are not. Compared to not being alive, literally infinitely many things are possible for you compared to not being alive. And some things just take time, and you just have to keep existing until existence gets a little bit better. And I can say now, in some really important ways, that existing has gotten better for me, when ways I really had given up on ever getting better. So much in part to my parents and my family and so many of my in real life friends and so many of those friends online and the ones that I hung out with at Agdq. So many of those people are a part of a better existence that I have found, and I want to thank every single one of them. Your existence is just going to look different than mine because every single living being on this planet is infinitely different. And in a guide, and in a segment of the guide where I'm trying to guide about very tough things, I wish I could give better, more concise answers, but life is really complicated, and so are we. But things don't have to be simple to be manageable. You're stronger than you think. You'd be surprised what you can survive, and you'd be surprised what surviving can do for you. I'm sorry things got so intense, but that's me. I'm incredibly, incredibly intense, and unfortunately a large part of this documentary is about me. But if my perspective can help you, then it was all worth it for me. This never was just a documentary about silly video games. Things never are just a game to me. This is genuinely my way of trying to improve the lives of every single person who watches this documentary. And beyond that, this is my way of existing. And I'm learning to be okay with that. And you don't have to be. That's okay. I'm just clawing around for bits of happiness and hoping to make the world a slightly better place all the while. Just like things like Agdq do for me, and they do for things like the Prevent Cancer Foundation.
I don't want to end this video on a bleak note. Screw that, man. This event ending sucks, but it happens, and it just means that we get to come back next time and celebrate life again. A bunch of like-minded people coming together to celebrate each other, no matter what they contribute to the world, no matter how the rest of the world sees them. This is a place where we just matter to each other. If this segment can give people power, if this segment can make somebody feel like they have more than they came in with, then I guess it was worth it to make this and put it in. And I'm taking very, very, very small steps forward, and I often take large steps back. But I'm not going to let that stop me from trying to keep taking steps forward. We've got an event to send off.
Everyone in Twitch chat, have you heard about Prime Gaming?
Yeah! Did you guys know that there is...
Well, now that I've got you all feeling very somber, maybe, or angry, or saying, Celia, you talk about not wanting to be an influencer, but then talk about wanting to make people feel positive or empowered. Isn't that influencing? Stop it. Well, in the aftermath, I'm just running up and down the stairs 5 to 10 times, getting my endorphins. Maybe that'll help. I'm addicted to them. What can you do? Here we go.
That didn't feel that close to failure, like my workouts usually do when they're satisfying. Do I go one more time? There we go. Still not that much, actually. But that's probably good for now, or else it might get hurt. You know what else workouts might help for me with? Giving me pain after I feel like I deserve it, but it gets to masquerade as health. Sorry, I promise I'm done with that now. I never like to actually talk about things like that. I have my endorphins. Yay! Echoes of Wisdom was awesome. Of course it was. I'm glad I came back down.
Returning to the stream room allowed me to witness the 2.25 million milestone moment, as well as getting to meet back up briefly with my friends and say hi to them. I let them get themselves situated for the end of the event. Whereas, for me, it felt like it was about time.
All together. In a row?
All together.
Holy crap!
I think I'm gonna go ahead and drift off while the last run is playing. Not because it's boring, just because it feels right. What an event. Thank you, Agdq. The legend Mega is heading out, and we're all getting ready. It really is happening.
Why don't you make like a tree and get the f*** out of here?
See ya. Till next time, friend.
See you next.
Later.
Agdq 2025 has ended, and now I'm just savoring the last few moments with Yels and CJ before we all head out. And I just want to take another moment to thank all these boys, because I am very, very fond of all of them, and they are always treating me incredibly well. So I can't possibly express enough gratitude for how enjoyable the event is, and so much in part due to their hospitality and everything. What can I really say about the event? It was an overwhelmingly positive experience, and hopefully everything that I've documented speaks for itself in that regard. What do you boys think? How did it go for all of you?
I think it went really well.
Yeah.
We'll do it again the same way.
Yeah.
I thought it was magnificent.
Yeah.
A wonderful week.
truly. Thanks very much in part to both of you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hooray. Let's all go to the line.
Until next time. Nice. Time to go home. I really hope you've enjoyed this journey with me. I really, really do. I hope you've gotten something out of this. I sure did. I sure did. If I could do it all again, I would. And hopefully, sometime coming up, summer, winter, I will. And maybe you'll be able to join me. If so, you'll have your own experience, but this was mine. Thank you so much for watching. How in God's name am I going to handle all this footage? Guess I better get started. I think, for once, I just finished something.
My grandmother on my father's side was diagnosed about 15 years ago. She was given a 10% chance to live. And just like in a beat 'em up, she kicked the stuffing out of it, and she's still going strong into her mid-90s. Thank you. And unfortunately, it doesn't end so well for so many of us, and we can't say the same thing. It's just such a harrowing and terrible and prevalent thing in the entire world. And that's why events like this are so special to me, because in a world that seems like it's becoming more divided every day, we're all coming together to fight against something that seems so terrifying and so impossible. And it brings me hope, not just against cancer, but in general in life. And to be a part of this is an absolute dream come true. And I can't thank everybody enough that is a part of this, the Games Committee for having me, everybody who's behind the scenes here, everybody in general, everybody who's watching, everybody who's donating, the people behind me who have my back here, everybody at home. Thank you to my parents, to the Cute Streamer Collective, the CSC, Liz, Matt, and Evie. So many of you, too many people to thank. Thank you all so much. And Apollo, Teddy, Will, your story will continue.
I have been Saria, and I will continue to be, despite everything. Thank you all so much for everything, and act with love and sincerity, everybody, as my lovers say. Dream on, folks. Peace.
There's 100 miles left to go, 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh. I've been running out of time. There's 100 miles left to go, 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh. Sunshine in my body for a long time. Scared to see which way the wind blows, scared to leave you, the past behind. Who am I? Dreamland, baby, feels alright, feels alright. Put away, gotta try. Dreamland, baby, feels alright, feels alright. I've been walking for a while. There's 100 miles left to go, 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh, oh. I've been running out of time. There's 100 miles left to go, 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh. Shiny, cute, and subtle, you could never know. But the devil's back whispering in my ear. But lately I am someone else. I'm walking safely, maybe that close. Who am I? Dreamland, baby, feels alright, feels alright. Run away, gotta try. Dreamland, baby, feels alright, feels alright. I've been walking for a while. There's 100 miles left to go, 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh. I've been running out of time. There's 100 miles left to go, 100 miles left to go. Oh, oh.